So Miami will have the ball first in a game that'll be played on the rug in Boulder, Colorado. Long, deep kick will go beyond the field of play. What can we expect from Dennis Erickson and his Miami Hurricanes today? This is what he told me yesterday.
We're going to make our money throwing the football, and I'm convinced of that, so we're going to have to throw it more than we have the last 2 football games.
Frank Costa is the man charged with that responsibility, making his 3rd career start today. He played some last year in relief, but it's his ball game right now. It's his job to lose. The backs and receivers, and we emphasize Jones and Harris here because we think they'll be throwing to them more today than you have seen in the first 2 games, as Bob Greasy touched on and Dennis Erickson said. We had a penalty called as the ball went deep in beyond the field of play. Costa was out there, and now they have come back off the field, and it appears that the Big East crew has decided that they will re-kick it, which gives us a little more time to set up the circumstances for you. The Colorado Buffaloes were highly rated and highly touted. They went up to Palo Alto to Stanford last week and got beat, a game in which they led by 10 points with just over 4 minutes to play, and they are still shocked somewhat, but they see this game as a chance to get the boat sailing again. Now let's join Jack Arute.
Keith, last week at Stanford, the defensive secondary for the Buffaloes missed 8 important tackles. They made the hits, but they didn't make the tackle. The coach, Meixowitz, says they had to get back to basics, wrap their arms around them when they make the tackle instead of the big hit. That's what they're looking for today.
The Miami Hurricanes want Colorado to re-kick it. They want a chance to return it, but you don't get to return an awful lot of kicks here at Folsom Field because obviously we're up beyond a mile high. The ball carries well. That's why Colorado kickers are always among the best in the country. Jonathan Harris is 5 yards deep in the end zone, and Dexter Ziegler said, no. You stay where you are. We'll take it up on the 20-yard line. The big people up front offensively for Miami have to deliver against Colorado particularly, with K.C. Jones, the lightest of the group, being the bell cow across the offensive line.
Three wide receivers in the ball game, Keith. Only one back, so it looks as though that Erickson will start with his 1 back, 3 wide, going back to what he's done best in his 4 years at Miami.
Donnell Bennett is the 1 back. He's a 227-pound junior from Fort Lauderdale. They'll put it in the air on the first play, and Costa is sacked behind the line of scrimmage by Kerry Hicks, number 94. Colorado does not intend to let Frank Costa have time to look around the field. He's going to have to unload it in a hurry.
The offensive line has been one of the problems. This offensive lost 9 starters from last year's club right up the middle. That's Hicks, number 94, with the first play, the first sack for Colorado.
Loss is 10 yards back to the 10, and Larry Jones is into the backfield, replacing Donnell Bennett. It may have been Bennett that didn't pick up the man breaking through. Drop. Ball is on the ground, and Larry Jones covers it, and there's no question but what Miami has a case of nerve. Colorado is trying to jump them right off the gun here, and we have seen, Bob, over the last 3 weeks, one team after another dig themselves a hole. The Colorado defense is a good one. They had too much to fool with last week. Just let them play. Holland, Clavel, and Hicks. That's the attitude of the coaching staff. That outside linebacker or defensive end, Woolfolk, is a real good one. Bennett is back in at the single back from the 9. Costa gets his pass away, and it is completed out beyond the 30 to the 32, and that's a Miami first down. And the man on the catch is Chris T. Jones, number 85. That will take some of the starch out of your pass rush.
What a great throw, and not only did it hurt the defense, but a huge boost offensively for Costa and the Hurricanes. As you mentioned, they came in, they're a little bit nervous. If you take a look at the defensive backs, Dalton Simmons is starting for Chris Hudson. Hudson, an outstanding player, will not play today because of an injury.
Larry Jones stays in the backfield behind Costa, double wide, top of the picture. First down at their own 32 for the Canes. Costa throwing again, pumps it and lets it go. Throws it into some traffic, but completes the pass just at the marker. He may have another first down as A.C. Tellison, the big man among the receivers at 6'4", 205, went up and got it. And they'll move the chains. And so Frank Costa has, for the moment at least, survived the onslaught from the Buffalo defense. Two wides to the bottom. Number 18 coming down to the bottom is Tellison, the man who just caught the pass. They'll run it. There's number 33, Donnell Bennett. He goes to midfield. And Ron Woolfolk brought him down.
The things that both of these teams have to do. Miami, they need some consistency on their offense. They've lost 9 starters. They need to find an offense that they can live with and production. Colorado, they need big plays. They've got an outstanding offense. Miami's got a great defense. They need big plays to win this game.
Jamie German has checked in, true freshman from Fort Myers, number 7, a flyer. Ball is handed off, however, to Larry Jones, and Larry Jones is brought down by John Knutson, the inside linebacker, junior from Great Falls, Montana, for Colorado. So there's a gain of a couple of yards, which leaves them short of their first down. They'll be looking at third and about 1.5 yards. Bill McCartney stood his mouth agape on the sidelines at the farm up in Palo Alto Saturday night. Couldn't believe that the game had gotten away from them. He's just one short of Fred Folsom's all-time coaching winning record of 77 games at CU. They'll run the ball for the first down as Bennett, number 33, hammers over the right side. And he got good support over there. There's a penalty flag with Terrell Green and Zev Lumelski. They're the right side of the line. Green 300, Zemelski about 301. The referee today is Wesley Ward. We told you it's an all Big East crew.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense.
The rest of the officials, the umpire is Rusty Spindell, Bristol Martin the linesman, Dan Williams line judge, Williamson, David Small the field judge, Charles Phillips the side judge, and the back judge is Gary Danzowitz. The contract specifically reads that Miami brings its own officials, and when Colorado goes back to Miami to finish this series, they will take Big 8 officials. It's a contract that was negotiated in the early 80s. Danielle Ferguson shows up in the backfield, number 1, and immediately slips out to a wide spot as Costa steps back from center, and they operate out of a no-back or a wide shotgun formation. The pass is completed to Jonathan Harris, the junior from Houston, and it's a pickup of about 5 or so. Now let's go to New York and John Saunders.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. We'll get back to you in just a moment. We want to get...
All right, John, thank you. A couple of teams there that dug themselves in holes and got beat. 9th play of this possession for Miami, opening possession. Bennett with a good run, broke a tackle, inside the 10, inside the 5, down at the 2, first and goal to go, Miami.
Miami went to the 2 backs to try to run more. They couldn't do it. Now they go to 1 back, and now the running game is opening up. Dennis Erickson said that he's going to do the same thing from 2 back, blocking-wise up front, as he does from 1 back. Big drive by Miami, first drive of the game, first series of the game.
They had a bit of a staggering start because of the penalty and so forth, and Colorado sacking the quarterback. But the Hurricanes have responded and have driven the ball down to the shadow of the goal line. Danielle Ferguson is hammered right at the line of scrimmage. And he was, I think Knutson was one of the guys who hit him, and number 92 is the other one. That'll be Shannon Clavel, a big sophomore from New Orleans, the nose tackle. When the two teams came on the field, they sort of blended into each other, and they got to talking a little bit. And these are two teams that like to talk. And the coaches had to get in there real quick with the hoe handle and separate them.
They were just going for bragging rights.
Bennett, number 33, is the deep man. Sweep right. Clavel grabs a hold of him, can't hold it, in he goes. Touchdown, Miami. Clavel got a piece of him trying to chase him down, but a 270-pound nose tackle is not going to catch Donnell Bennett. Dane Pruitt is in for the extra point try. Mike Chrissy, the punter, will hold it. Here's a look at the touchdown.
Just stretch him wide, and Bennett sees a gap and gets up and through it.
Kick is good. And so the Canes say, in your face, Buffaloes. They lead it 7-0. Run on down the field for an 80-yard drive and stuck in the end zone. They lead 7-0, and now it's Colorado's turn as Westbrook lifts back to the back of the end zone to make the catch, and Miami will set up their defense for Colorado's vaunted offense out at the 20-yard line. And Colorado will open up with Cordell Stewart at quarterback. You can see that he has had a prolific career already, 4th in CU history, and he's got a year to go. The backs behind him will be Lamont Warren starting, but Michael Westbrook and Charles Johnson are the big story, each of them totaling over 1,000 yards in receptions a year ago. They are indeed exciting football players. Johnson, number 9, Westbrook, 81. They run a double tight end offense, hand the ball to Lamont Warren, and Warren will get maybe a yard before Ray Lewis brings him down, and Ray Lewis is quite a story himself. Robert Bass got hurt, the middle linebacker. Lewis, a true freshman, just barely passed his SATs at the end of the summer session and steps in at 216 pounds. Last week, he had 12 tackles, and Bob, the defense, Tommy Tuberville says that I hardly miss anything when he's in there.
He's a great athlete. He's probably a better athlete than Bass. He's just inexperienced. He was a strong safety a year ago in high school.
So it's second down and still about 10 as Stewart fakes it, keeps it, rolls it out. He was an option quarterback coming to Colorado, unloads the ball to Christian Fourier, the tight end, and Fourier will take it up for about a 6-7 yard pickup. He's a 235-pound junior out of Northridge, California, a good tight end. The offensive front for Colorado, big enough and relatively young, but still this is a line I think that all of the coaches say will grow and mature. They all come back next year.
Exactly, but if there's a weakness on this Colorado offense, it's the offensive line, because all the skill areas are potentially big play people.
It is third down and 3. Cordell Stewart's pass is batted up into the air. The Canes dive for it, goes to the ground, incomplete. It was Kenny Lopez, the defensive tackle, who got his hand up and slapped it down. Miami lining up with Prine. Prine coming home. He's the native son of Colorado. The linebackers, Ray Lewis is in the middle. Rowan Marley is fun to watch. He's 5'8". And we'll check the secondary for you later. Mitch Berger is in to punt. And he, like so many who have preceded him here at the University of Colorado, can really nail it. A lot of his punts this year have been pooch kicks because of the position down inside the 40-yard line. But this time he's got room, hangs it up there. Drifting under it and making the catch is Jonathan Harris. And Harris is swarmed at the... So the Miami Hurricanes from the 17 now will go to work. Donnell Bennett is the single back. That's the enclosed end of the stadium, and the Colorado home crowd gets into it. Pass thrown down the middle. Intended for Chris T. Jones is too high. He was open.
Poor throw by Costa. Had time, and he was open. Miami coming into the game, we said the story for them, they needed some consistency on offense. They certainly found it in the first drive, both throwing and running from the one-back set.
Larry Jones now brings the message in for the play. And it's second down and 10 from the 17. wrestled down by Donnell Leomiti and Dennis Collier, a cornerback and a strong safety, and moved the chains for the Canes.
One of the problems against the Hurricanes have had is over here. Let me get the line on here. They've been blitzing, but they saw it and they ran to the right side away from the blitz. Problem with Miami against Virginia Tech last week and Alabama last year against aggressive blitzing teams. That time they ran away from it.
3 wideouts to the bottom of the picture, spread the defense to Colorado. Costa checks off, turns, gives the ball to his running back. Donnell Bennett is consumed with the black shirt short of the line of scrimmage. Darius Holland was the first man to make contact with him, a junior out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. He's 285 pounds, so when he arrived, Donnell knew it. The Colorado defense was carved up by the Stanford Cardinal last week. Miami in its first possession today did it.
So this Colorado defense team lost 6 players to graduation, and 5 of them are in the NFL right now. A couple of high draft choices. They've had to rebuild.
Look at them. They're up there showing 9 men along the defensive front. Now 10. And timeout on 2nd down and 11. Frank Costa says, whoa, I need some conversation with the boss. The ball rests at the 33-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 11. Larry Jones, the single back, 3 wideouts. Costa gives it to Jones. Jones is hit by Darius Holland as he goes by, and will get it back near the 35. Right here, let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can tell you who they are.
It's he may be back in the ballgame.
They'd really be in trouble without him because there is nobody behind Lewis now. Costa steps away from the pressure but can't get away from Holland. Darius Holland has his 3rd tackle of the ball game. Big loss. I think you can discern already that Frank Costa is not a nifty fellow shifting around under pressure.
Defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz, that's one thing he wanted to do, get in his face, get pressure up the middle, and force Costa to move laterally. He's not real nimble back there.
We may have some excitement here as Mike Chrissy gets ready to punt it to Charles Johnson. Tight spin for Chrissy. Johnson, who's a flyer, has it at the 37. Flag back up around the 48-yard line, and I think you're going to find Colorado penalized back up around midfield for an illegal block.
No illegal block in the back on the return team.
So it'll come back, and here's John Saunders in New York.
Keith, Alabama.
Watch to the left side of your screen, push in the back. Right up there, top left. That's it right there. We mentioned that Colorado needed some big plays to win this ball game. That was the first, but it was wiped out by that illegal block in the back above the waist.
38-yard punt, 15-yard return, 10-yard penalty, 1st down. Colorado Buffaloes at their own 42-yard line. Cordell Stewart gives the ball to Warren. Lamont Warren, a junior out of Inglewood, California. And he picks up about 4 yards on the play. Warren plays quite a bit. Rahman Salam played quite a bit against Stanford.
Number 52 is the freshman linebacker who's been at Miami just a little over a month. Fights off the block and has the speed to get over there. The Miami defense stops you from the inside out. They don't want you to run. They bounce everything out and allow for their speed at linebacker to run it down.
2nd down and 6. Lamont Warren carries again. He's to midfield, and he's 2 yards short of his 1st down. It was Warren Sapp, the 290-pound sophomore from Plymouth, Florida, that made the tackle.
The game plan for Colorado offensively early on was to run inside, force the Miami defense to stop the run inside before they go outside, make the safeties of Miami's defense come up and make some tackles.
James Hill checks in at fullback now on 3rd down and 2. Give the ball to Rahman Salam, and he's not going to get the first down. I mean, Canes ate him up. Loss on the play to the 49 of Colorado. It's 4th down and the long 3, and they'll have to punt it. So Colorado tries to muscle up and run the ball against the Hurricanes, and it didn't work. Jonathan Harris, number 3, is back waiting for the punt from Mitch Berger. Berger's first kick was a 50-yarder. 7-0. Miami leads with 3:45 to go in the first quarter. High kick into the end zone, no return. It's beyond the field of play, and Miami wants to make up a formidable pair of defensive ends. Don Woolfolk, Sam Rogers ain't bad for Colorado either. It's first down for Miami now, and the Canes line up. Mike Costa in his 3rd possession hands the ball to the running back, and the Buffalo stopped that one in a hurry. And once again, it's Darius Holland down around the bottom of the pile. Donnell Bennett and Larry Jones are about the same size. They're both juniors, but the running game has not been all that much for Miami in recent times because of the great effectiveness of the passing game. It was Donnell Bennett, though, that stepped up last year at the Penn State game up at State College and did a lot of heavy work to save that game for him. Daniel Ferguson checks in now. He's the speedster of the bunch, a sophomore, number 1. We got Larry Jones in motion. Costa with time down the middle, through a bullet. That Sai Tucker couldn't hang on to, the big sophomore out of Oklahoma City. One of the Buffaloes passed right in front of him.
Dwayne Davis,
as the ball arrived.
Dwayne Davis, the free safety, almost picked that ball off, and I think because it was thrown so hard, not only could Tucker not catch it, but Davis said, hey, I don't see him this hard in practice.
It was a hummer, wasn't it?
Defensive action for Colorado.
Costa gets it away, and it is incomplete. You had 2 Miami receivers run together. Somebody made a mistake. Sai Tucker and Jonathan Harris literally ran together, and that buggered up the whole play.
Oh, it was tight man-to-man coverage with a safety deep free, and because of the tight coverage, it jammed the receivers, and they couldn't get where they wanted to go. Good defense by Colorado.
And in to punt is Mike Chrissy with Charles Johnson going back. Last time Johnson got his hands on it, he woke up the home folks. See what he does here. There's some pressure on Chrissy, but he gets it out, and it's very high kick. Good coverage, and Johnson does the smart thing, calls fair catch at the 39-yard line.
Quarters against this defense from Miami.
Rashaan Salaam in the backfield, comes in motion to the near side, and Cordell Stewart throws. Bounces the ball to Johnson. Charles Johnson, who has become something of a celebrity because of a very difficult background, but has become quite a remarkable personality in the state of Colorado, and his story spreads around the country. I think a lot of people will find him to be quite a remarkable young man.
Not only all of that, but he walks his girlfriend to class each morning. He's graduated in 3 years himself, but girlfriend is a sprinter on the track team, too, I believe, Keith.
And Tanisha John, he just makes sure she gets there. Don't blame him. Rashaan Salaam, big gain around the left side. This is a tough running back, 6'1", 210, a sophomore out of San Diego. He's one of those leaners. He's always going forward, and he's very strong.
And he ran through the block of middle linebacker Ray Lewis.
Picked up 9 yards on the carry.
They're going to try and take some of the pressure off of Lewis. The middle linebacker for Miami usually makes the defensive calls. Find a tight end. Is it right or left? Straight right or left? But they're going to give him some help because of all of his other responsibilities today.
You have Hill now lining up with Salaam in the backfield for Colorado. 3rd down and 1. Salaam gets the ball, gets the first down. He does move the pile, doesn't he? Next Saturday, ABC Sports presents a college football doubleheader beginning at 12 noon Eastern. In Game 1, we'll have regional action featuring some of the nation's top teams. Check for the game on your ABC station and for games available on pay-per-view. National telecast at 3:30 Eastern. Two legends, Lou Holtz and Bill Walsh, as Notre Dame comes west to play Stanford next Saturday on ABC Sports. Salam is the single back for Colorado. Stewart keeps it, gets his pass away. Pass is drilled to Fourier, and he makes the catch. Fourier, I guess it's the way he wants it pronounced, down around the 36-yard line and a first down.
Well, if you notice, Colorado offensively is not going to their outstanding wide receivers, Johnson and Westbrook. They're running the ball, and they're going to their tight ends. That's because Miami, they want, first of all, to shut down the two wide receivers. Tommy Tuberville says that if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us by not using your wide receivers. We're doubling them, taking them out of the ball game.
1:45 to go in the first quarter. Stewart hands the ball to Salam. He bangs into a defender. Goes down to the 30-yard line. Getting up kind of slowly is C.J. Richardson, the strong safety. There was a pretty good collision when those two hit.
There's a look at the blocking on that offensive line. Krein 91. 87 is Ford. These defensive ends of Miami want to rush the passer. Krein and Patrick, they love to rush the passer. What Elliot Uzelak said, the offensive coordinator, says we want to frustrate him and run inside of him. That's fine if you get your running game going.
Second down and 4. Stewart back, keeps coming, passes away. Pass is incomplete, intended for Charles Johnson, and C.J. Richardson was aiming for it, couldn't quite get it, and Corwin Francis decked Stewart just as he threw the ball. Now let's join Jack Arute.
Keith, you know, Miami Hurricanes lost some of their key linebackers from last year, Armstead Smith, and of course they went on with Michael Barrow into the NFL. So the new set of linebackers, complete with that true freshman, they've developed a special t-shirt. They go by a new nickname. They're simply known as the Who. They say nobody knows us, so that's our nickname.
Who are those guys?
Give him time. Give him about 6 weeks. Stewart hands the ball to Salam. Hard, tough runner. Penalty flag goes down as he picks up the first down. Look out for Clip for the block here.
Clipping.
Yep.
On the offense.
So Coach Mack looks out on the field and once again sees his team make a costly mistake.
Here's what they want to do. The offensive guard right here, watch as he pulls around and gets the block on the linebacker. Instead of going, they call this the horn block. He goes around, it's all man blocking, man-to-man blocking.
Number 9 with a
Nice play.
Wiped out by the Clip. Man blocking. Well, the Colorado coaches think it may be the wave of the future, the thing that'll be coming along.
And you'll see the guards lined up a little bit deeper right next to the center so they can pull around the tackles and get those linebackers. Instead of going straight through, they go around a lot.
Third down and 15 as the ball comes back to the 41. Stewart gets some pressure from Klein, takes off. He's not timid about running the ball. I told you he was an option quarterback when he came here from Marrero, Louisiana. Brought down by Kenny Lopez and Rowan Marley. You can't miss Rowan. He's a 5'8" bundle of dynamite wearing number 2. So we're coming down to the end of the first quarter of play. Miami leading by a score of 7-0. Game being played in Boulder, Colorado.
Keith, they call timeout very quickly to keep the wind behind Berger.
First quarter of play, it's Miami 7 and Colorado 3. Ziegler is back there with him. They like Harris can burn you. A 7-3 ball game, and Berger will have none of it. He almost kicked that thing into the stands.
See, have helium in that ball or something or what?
Mile high.
Stats for the first quarter. Take a look. Almost, think of them and you'd think they're about even, but look at the first downs. Colorado has only 2. They only had 2 first downs and kicked a field goal. They had the ball 3 times. So really the stats are pretty even, but Miami really dominated the first quarter.
We have a change in Sebastian Ibis, I understand, too, right?
Yeah, we got 3 of them replacing the old one.
Mr. Ruth is gone.
John Ruth is now with the Marlins.
Right. On first down, Costa has some time, has a man open, Tellison. Tellison splits him, gets a first down at the 31-yard line. Number 46 was over there in a hurry, Ted Johnson, but he could not prevent Tellison getting across the 30-yard line. That's what that one-back, 3 wideouts will do for you. It spreads the defense.
Exactly. And talking with Erickson this week, Keith, he said that's what I should have done last week against Virginia Tech when they were blitzing me. I was in 2 backs. Everybody was all lined up in the middle, and they were blitzing. I should have spread them out and went to the 1-back, 3 wide, and threw on it.
Larry Jones, the single back. Hurricanes leading 7-3, second quarter of play. Jones has the ball going around the corner. Picks up about 3 yards before he tumbles into the crowd over there. Dwayne Davis getting the push out of bounds. The stadium, Folsom Field, holds about 55,000. There are a few more than that here today. Not the biggest stadium in the world, but it's picturesque. Been here a long time and is always seemingly filled with faithful. Bennett lines up now in the backfield. Second down and 4. Up the middle goes Bennett. And along for the ride is number 16, Matt Russell, a freshman out of Fairview Heights, Illinois. And they look at it, and he's a yard short of the first down. So send in Jones with the play. 3rd and a long one on a day where the temperature is about 75 degrees. And they play on the rug here. And there is a piece of disturbing news that came to me about the state of Colorado yesterday. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. Give the ball to Bennett. There's your first down and then some as Donnell gets across the 45. But I heard yesterday, and it was documented later in the news, Bob, that people now outnumber cattle and sheep in the state of Colorado, and I find that terribly depressing.
By 1, right? I saw a picture of a baby on the news. And where are all the people coming from?
California.
I knew you'd get that in somewhere.
I always thought of this as a place of pristine water, fresh air. First down and 10, just across the 45. Here's Donnell Bennett searching, and he was a half a step from breaking loose for what could have been a big game, but Matt Russell wouldn't turn him loose, and that dragged him down. This is one of those places where southern teams and eastern teams and sometimes California teams come to play, and about the middle of the 4th quarter, your hip pocket weighs about 400 pounds. Because the air is thin.
But Dennis Erickson had a comment about that a little earlier in the week. He says, you know, his experience in this altitude, good teams win, play well, bad teams lose and don't play well.
Larry Jones is back in, the single back. Costa pumps it. Russell's after him, throws it away. And Russell almost got Frank Costa. The pass was off the hands of A.C. Tellison. Here's John.
Keys in the Pac-10, Arizona and Oregon State. Dan White back to pass, spots a wide open Troy Dickey. Touchdown, 7-0 right now. Arizona has the lead. Keith, back to you.
Yeah.
Wildcats can't score much, it seems, with some defense.
Defense outscores the other teams themselves.
That's right. Costa's now one of his last 5 passing. 3rd down and 9. Crowd into it. Underneath. Close. Depends on the mark, and they're going to mark him short. They'll mark him short of the 45. He had to go beyond the 45 on the Colorado side to get the first down.
Tight coverage. That's the free safety Davis, who has played some corner in the past. And he's going to be just short, but they're using the philosophy that other teams have used in beating Miami. They're going to go for it, and that is tight man-to-man in the secondary and a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Marcus Wimberly, the man who made the catch. You've got Bennett and Jones both in the backfield now. Bennett is the deep man. There's your first down. Breaks the tackles. He's gone. No flags. Touchdown, Miami. That is a 4th down and a half-yard ball, and good for a 45-yard touchdown because Donnell Bennett simply ran right through people.
How many times do you see it? It's going to be a simple play right here. He's going to go over this side. The man he breaks the tackle is right here, the safety. How many times do you see it in the last line of defense? Short yardage play. If you break the 1 tackle at the line of scrimmage, you'll go all the way.
Kick is up by Pruitt and good. Donnell Bennett has 10 carries, 90 yards and a touchdown, and the Miami Hurricanes lead 14-3. Back of the end zone. Let's see what they do with this one. That's gone too. So Barnwell's got a big leg. Bill McCartney now will send out a double tight end, double wide offense that I talked to him about yesterday, including man blocking and whether or not this is an offense for the future.
I think that it's a legitimate offense for today, particularly against a team like Miami that has the ability to put so much pressure on you. When we line up on the line, we have 4 receivers within a yard of the line of scrimmage. But we're in a legitimate running formation every time. And that thread of run and pass gives us integrity on offense.
Penalty flag thrown as the ball is snapped to Cordell Stewart, and I think Poirier, one of the tight ends, jumped.
In the last 5 or 6 years, he has tinkered with his offense, going back and forth. Colorado used to be a run-only offense, and then he went to a 3 wide receiver, 1 back, and threw the ball. Last year, they were tops in the country in the top 10 throwing. They were like 90th, 100th running the football. Now he's got more balance. He's rushed for over 200 every game, and he's thrown for over 200 in each of the first 3 games.
Like that Embry, not Poirier. Penalties now on the Buffaloes. 5 for 50 yards. They're hurting themselves. Back goes Stewart. No pressure on him. He swings the pass out. That's caught by Poirier. And Christian is hammered just short of the 20-yard line. Well, the penalty had backed them up. And they're looking at the 19-yard line now.
Poirier is stumbling, and they better call timeout and get him out of there. He is a tough kid, an outstanding tight end, not only a good receiver, he's got great hands and also a very good blocker.
He had to come out, didn't he? He was really got a case of the wobbles.
Good catch.
Westbrook hasn't seen the ball yet under a pass.
That hit is by number 2, Rohan Marley, one of the smallest men on the field at linebacker.
Cordell Stewart, that may have been a quarterback draw. Whatever it was, it didn't work too much because Way Lewis was all over it. So the Miami defense, one truth about playing Miami, you will not play them running sideways.
Well,
Go straight out.
the object is to go run right at him. The first 3 games, they've gained over 500 yards in each game. Today, after 3 possessions, they've gained 57.
Lamont Warren is down in there in the single back. Cordell Stewart's got some room. He'll pick up the first down. So Stewart is a 6'3", 210-pound junior from Marrero, Louisiana. Ambles him down the sideline and gets a first down for the Buffaloes.
Well, that's like a quarterback draw. It wasn't. It was a pass, but there was man coverage in the secondary, and all the defensive players were running with the receivers. Cordell just saw it. Big gap opened up, and he ran for a first down.
I wonder how many folks are watching in Solomon Dole's barbershop down in Marrero today. That's where Stewart and Miami's defensive tackle Pat Riley used to hang out when they played high school football down in Marrero. Ball is handed to Salam, the sophomore out of San Diego, and he'll pick up about 2 or 3 yards on that carry. And bring up second down and 7.
Keith, we're well into the second quarter, and neither of McCartney's wide receivers, either Johnson, who is an outstanding player, or Westbrook, have touched the football. Got a pass. Westbrook caught a punt, but the point is that they're not getting the ball to the outside.
Poirier's had all of the catches. Marley was after the quarterback Stewart and had him in his sights. He'd gotten away clean, but Ziegler was over there all over Johnson, and the pass was a little bit off the mark, and it goes incomplete.
And as we mentioned, the reason that Cordell Stewart cannot get the ball to the wide receivers as big play people is Miami is double covering the outside, taking away the explosive guys, forcing Colorado to do it the slow way.
T.J. Cunningham is in the ball game for the Buffaloes. There's that little shoulder pass to Salam, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and gets up to the 47-yard line, and that's the first down.
Let me emphasize what we were just talking about. Here are the two backs out here covering the receiver on this side. The other receiver on this side, again, covered by these 2 defensive backs. As the ball is snapped, they're going to take away the 2 wide receivers and force him to go to somebody else.
Salam gets the first down up at the 47-yard line for the Buffaloes. Give it to him again. Again, ran through a tackle, but he can't get away from number 6 for the Canes, Terrace Harris, the redshirt senior free safety. Tomorrow here on ABC Sports, Senior Tour's big stars on the links down in Georgia. Golf's legendary names playing for nearly $500,000 in prize money in the final round of the Nationwide Championship. Live coverage at 4 Eastern, 3 Central on ABC Sports. They were in the 3rd round today, and when last we heard, Lee Trevino had the lead. That must mean there's big bucks on the table.
A merry mix. A merry mix.
Lee Buck Trevino gets hard and tough when there's a pile of money on the table. Cordell Stewart's pass was incomplete. That's got to be a penalty. Ray Lewis hit Garrett Ford well out of bounds. Well out of bounds. I mean, he was in pursuit of him, went into the Miami sidelines, and I'm sure he didn't see the sidelines, but nonetheless, it had to be a call.
Little play action. Stewart outside the pocket. Smart move. Throws it poorly. No question about that call. The young freshman just hitting a little bit too late.
He had no idea where the ball was.
It was a defensive back, a strong safety in high school. He's used to covering tight ends.
Penalty flag. Marches Colorado down the field. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, good news on the condition of Christian Fauria. He had his bell rung, and here's how it happened. His head was snapped back, and the helmet snapped from the back base of his neck. The doctors have checked him out. They're going to keep him out for a series or so, and then they're going to clear him to play again.
That's scary.
Little Marley, the small linebacker, was the guy that did it.
14-3, Miami leads. First down for the Buffalo. Stewart goes deep, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for Garrett Ford right down the pipe, and Terrace Harris almost came out of there with it. So Stewart threw it in traffic.
Threw it to the right. They're trying to go the right place. That was the tight end down the middle of the field. Their best tight end, Fourier, Jack just talked about being on the sideline, and They've got to go to some other people to get the ball to the tight ends and the backs to get the double coverage away from the outside.
Charles Johnson has been taken out for just a moment. And the coaches are talking to him, so they're plotting something with Johnson as Stewart gives the ball to Salam. And Salam runs the ball to the 20. That's a pickup of 5 yards with Dwayne Johnson and Ray Lewis making the tackle. Now here comes Johnson back, and he's got to play. So let's see what they've decided to try here.
Keith, if they put both wide receivers, Johnson and Westbrook, on the same side, it's tough to double both of them. If you put them on right and left sides, they can double it.
Well, they've got them on each side. Johnson at the bottom of the picture and Westbrook at the top. He's looking for Johnson. He goes instead to Salam. Salam got away, going to get a first down, and goes out of bounds down around the 11-yard line. Corwin Francis could not run him down. Francis had him out there in the open field, and Salam got away from him.
Well, they're doing the right thing. They can't get the ball to the outside, so they're throwing to their tight ends and their backs. And Salam came in with only 2 receptions on the year. They're going to have to throw some more to their backs.
Aurier is back in the lineup for Colorado. Lamont Warren checks back into the backfield. It's first down at the 11-yard line of Miami. Colorado threatening really for the first time today. Lamont Warren is caught behind the line of scrimmage by Kevin Patrick, number 86. Patrick holds on, gets some help, and they take him down effectively at just maybe a half a yard loss, no more than that.
Patrick is quick. Watch him on the inside right here. He's just going to step to the inside and make the play. Just too quick. Miami defense, a lot of times they'll slant inside, they'll slant outside. Never know where they're going.
This is the 13th play of this possession. Stewart on second down, throws the ball to Warren. Penalty flag is thrown. Warren is knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line. But let's check the flag back upfield. Kevin Patrick was involved with one of the Buffaloes, and Colorado absorbs another penalty.
And Lewis, the middle linebacker for Miami, is down.
That is a hold call back around the 23-yard line. The concern now is for Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker. There is no depth there. He is the only healthy one because Boone Pickett came out of the ball game a little while ago with a twisted knee. 2-yard call. It's a foul from the point of the infraction, the point of foul. Warren Sapp slaps that ball down as Stewart tried to get a pass away. And now Colorado is going the other way, when it looked like they had a chance to score a touchdown with a first down on the Miami 11. So big Warren Sapp, after that Herculean effort, will get a moment to take a deep breath.
Well, you know, Crine and Patrick, the ends get all the attention, but that Warren Sapp on the inside, you talk to offensive line coaches and coordinators, they'll say that Sapp is the guy they're most concerned about.
The ball rests back at the 34-yard line. Colorado hit with 73 yards in penalties today. Stewart throws the ball out to Salam. Pretty good collision down there as Salam, Ziegler, and Burgess all collide. But it brings up a fourth down. And it should get Berger into the ball game, and he's probably bringing a kicking tee. There's no teeth in its literal sense. But he's at the 31-yard line for a 41-yard field goal try. The man holding is Duke Tobin. Plenty of leg. Just left. So he misses at 6:51 to play in the first half. The Colorado Buffaloes have 15 plays in that possession. They get a first down at the 11-yard line. They come away empty. No points.
Well, the penalty is what really cost them, and that'll do it to you every time. Turnovers and penalties. They were down in their good, but the penalty moved them back.
its best starting point of the ball game as Bennett does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Shannon Clavel led the defensive surge for Colorado. And it would seem to me that if there's going to be a change in the ball game, momentum or control is going to have to come from the Colorado defense.
So look at the AP top 10 today. Florida State is not playing. Notre Dame is tied.
Colorado, incidentally, is 13th in the AP poll this week after the loss. Second down at about 12. Quick pop underneath, nothing doing. Ball is caught by Jamie German, the freshman flanker, but Colorado ate him up for a more loss back inside the 20 to the 18. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, some good news on the condition of Ray Lewis. Dr. John Uribe, the orthopedic surgeon for the Hurricanes, checked him over. His left knee was the concern. They do not think anything critical has happened there. They say they are going to clear him to return to play. The same cannot be said for Booker Pickett, though. After the initial diagnosis, they've looked further. They feel he may have torn a ligament.
Oops. That's bad. Third down and 16. Costa back, gets the pass away under pressure, thrown to the ground just as he released the ball, and the pass is incomplete. Now the Colorado defense may have done something for their offense because they have held Miami. They pushed him back 6 yards, and now Chrissy comes in to punt. Let's see what Charles Johnson can do with a return. But it already clearly established it was not going to be the Colorado offense that was going to turn this thing. It's going to have to be the Buffalo defense. Chrissy's punt is out of there. Not all that good. Depends on the roll. It does not take a very good roll for Miami. It keeps on bouncing, however, and now does kick on down to about the 36-yard line of Colorado. There the Buffaloes will have it. It winds up a 46-yard. Miami now to sort that out. James Burgess joins Rowan Marley and Corwin Francis. Ray Lewis not back in as yet. Ball is handed off by Joseph to the running back Lamont Warren. Warren barely gets to the line of scrimmage if that.
The attitude defensively now, Keith, for Miami is not only are we shutting down the wide receivers have not caught a ball. The tight end has caught 4. The running backs have caught 3. Now we have the backup quarterback. He was recruited as a wishbone running style quarterback. So Stewart was also. So now even more, they're going to play the run and not the pass.
Stewart, we're told, has what they feel is a minor concussion. They're going to sit him down for a bit. Joseph's pass is away. The pass is completed to Westbrook. Michael Westbrook, big man. 6'4", almost wrestle free, and it's a first down for Colorado. Vance Joseph is a good quarterback. He, too, is from Marrero, Louisiana.
That's the first completion to a wide receiver today. Westbrook caught over 1,000 yards in passes last year. 76 passes Westbrook caught last year, 1,060 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Ball is on the 42-yard line. Joseph rolls it out, lets it go. Zip on it. Pass good to Charles Johnson. One man misses. Johnson is down to the 28-yard line. And that's another first down for Colorado. So Vance Joseph has come in and electrified the filled stadium. He's moving the team.
How do you explain the backup quarterback coming in and doing something that the starting quarterback couldn't do? There's no pressure on this young man. He wasn't thinking he was going to play, just going in there. He's got everything gained, nothing to lose, and he's just playing really loose and free.
Ball is handed off to Lamont Warren. Rowan Marley rolling along the ground gets in his way, and then Ray Lewis, who had just come back into the ball game, brought him down.
Marley is number 2. He's only 5'8". 2 guys block him.
Look at him. He's something.
He plays with reckless abandon. He has to. He's only 5'8", 200 pounds. Like a bouncing ball.
Second down and 5. This is Salam. to the 20. And at least 2 yards short of a first down, about 2.5. So they'll be looking at third down.
What happens when your starting quarterback goes out and your second string come in? The rest of the team kind of picks it up also. The line blocks a little harder. The receivers run a little better. And the running backs say, all right, we got to break tackles and do something because everybody else now has got to do a little more.
Third down and 2. Salam is the man in motion. Joseph rolls out, hit from behind and smothered. Kevin Patrick, defensive end, looping, got him clean.
It's a blitz. Marley, the linebacker, comes. The tackle doesn't see. That's Birdie, number 50. And Patrick and Crine from the other side have a meeting.
And Berger is in for a field goal try. From the 34, it's a 44-yard field goal try. He has hit one from 54. But he's got a little bit of wind in his face on this one. Got it. 54 and 44, and Colorado has 6 points. With
An option team, you want somebody who can drop back and throw and read coverage.
All right, Jonathan Harris is the deep man waiting for Mitch Berger to kick it. 14-6 ball game with 1:51 to go in the first half. Jamie German is also back there in case he's needed, but he won't be needed because Berger has just kicked it into the cheap seats. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll choose an MVP from each team for the Chevrolet Scholarship Program in its 23rd year this year, donating $1,000 to each of the players' university. 23 years they've been doing it. Ball is on the 20. Larry Jones, a single back. Let's see if Miami keeps pumping away or if they'll run out the clock. Nope, Costa will pull the trigger. Underneath, Jones out of the backfield, about a 2-3 yard pickup. John Knutson on the tackle. John Knutson, kind of an interesting story. He's got bad feet. I mean, he's got flat feet. Virtually no. He has to wear a brace to keep his foot up. The arches are so poor, so weak. Sometimes he pops them out. That pass is thrown hard to the sidelines by Costa. And the pass is completed to Chris T. Jones. And there's a penalty flag on this side of the field. Miami holding.
Illegal formation.
No, illegal formation.
Holding on the offense.
Well, they do hold too, so we got them both. Good choice. I thought I saw the holding.
Bill McCartney's team has been outstanding on offense, but pathetic defensively. They came in the second team in the nation offensively and number 90 in the nation defensively, allowing 25 points per game and over 300 yards passing per game.
Second down and 20. Ball is back on the 10. A minute and 22 to play. That was a 13-yard holding penalty, penalized from the point of the foul. Danielle Ferguson lines up in the backfield now for Miami. Has the ball. Has a little daylight. Gets out to the 18-yard line before he is pulled out by number 92, Shannon Clavell. Timeout is called by Colorado. So they have one remaining. Miami with a minute to play. They lead 14-6. Boulder, Colorado, Folsom Field. Number 3, Miami. They have not scored a lot of points in the first 2 games. They've moved the ball around quite a bit. Prior to this game, they were inside the 29 times, scored only 5 times. That's not a very good percentage. Not for a team ranked 3rd in the country.
Well, that's right. And offensively, they should have not been ranked 3rd in the country. They've been struggling offensively. looking for an identity. They were going 2 backs and 1 back. Strange that they go to 1 back and the running game goes. That's because you spread everybody out, and there's more holes there. You take the linebackers with you when you spread out. 3rd and 12.
With a lot of time, throws, pass caught at the 35-yard line.
Big play there for Miami.
Dalton Simmons is squawking about it as Chris Jones, 6'4", 210, big target, got the size advantage on Simmons and made the catch.
Best thing that Costa does here is steps up in the pocket. He's got plenty of time, only 4 guys rushing. This is a deep out, and that picks up the 1st down. Gets his foot down. If you get knocked out and you don't get your foot down, it's not a catch, but you have to get your foot down.
Costa goes down the middle, passes roll to Dietrich Clausel. Wasn't it Dietrich Clausel who made the big catch to win the Arizona game a year ago?
I
It was
think you're
almost
right.
that kind of a catch, laying down and on his elbow.
You got a pretty
going
good
in.
memory. How do you remember all that stuff?
I don't have any idea. 7 different receivers now have caught balls for Miami. And here's Jackaroo.
Keith, I got a trivia question for you. Do you know what this is?
That's my old slingshot.
No, not really. Back in 1908, they used these for nose guards for football players. They didn't have face masks. Mike Hankwitz received this from his sister-in-law back in the early 70s. He didn't know what it was. So what he did is he started an antique football collection. Now get this. He's got incredible things now. He's got over 30 leather helmets, an assortment of old-time shin guards, pants, jerseys, and it is just about probably one of the best collections that anybody has. He says, you don't get much time as a football coach to collect the modern stuff, so he goes for the old stuff. I'll save this for you. You might want to take it back to California with you.
I wonder if he's got any of my teeth. My old
That's
teeth.
Hankwitz there. And if that's a nose guard they wore, I'm glad I didn't play back in 1908.
And maybe it had multiple use.
Oh, boy.
First down. Larry Jones, a single back. Short of time now. 36 seconds left to play in the first half. Costa back. Good protection. Down the middle. Pass completed to Cy Tucker. And the big sophomore tight end from Oklahoma has a first down for Miami, and the clock stops with 29 seconds. Clock stopping as they move the chains. Once the chains are down, the referee winds the clock. There he goes. Pass to the corner, and man is wide open. Touchdown, Miami. Holy smokes, how in the world did Chris T. Jones get so lost?
I'll tell you, it was a great pump fake by Costa. The corner on that side bit on the out, and Costa just laid it up for Chris Jones.
There wasn't anybody within 15 yards of him.
At one point, about 15 or 20 seconds ago, Miami was backed up on their own 20, and Colorado called a timeout because they thought they were running the clock out.
The extra point try by Pruitt is good. Costa in that possession, 5 of 5, 85 yards, and Miami now leads going into halftime by a score of 21-6. Scott Barnwell will kick it off. Michael Westbrook is waiting. Barnwell does not give him a chance. Next Saturday, college football on ABC Sports, doubleheader beginning noon Eastern, game 1, regional action. Check your ABC station and your local cable operator, and we have a huge fight going on down on the field right now. So let's go away from the promotion as both teams come storming onto the field. This is going to take a little time, I think, because they are really at it. I see number 57 in the middle of the melee for Miami. It's a good place for him to get out of there because he can get lost in there. That's Tom Patterson, the long snapper. And now they've started to separate. So a huge fight, and now it's breaking out again. This is about the 5th flag that has been thrown as a result of this. I don't college football. Kevin Patrick was mugged down in the end zone and somehow got his helmet pulled off. That is not a good thing to do either.
This is just an ugly scene, Keith. You hate to see it at any level, professional, high school, college. Just an ugly scene. And a lot of these things started with guys trying to break things up. Guys would come in later, thought it was a fight, and start jumping on them.
It only took for one. And then everybody started trying to break it up, and suddenly there were 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5.
It all started, and the kick went into the end zone.
Yep.
It all started with somebody getting blocked up around the 30-yard line and being nailed into the ground. Then everybody reacted to that, and it just built from there.
Now the Miami players are not serving their cause very well because they're coming strutting back to the bench, showing off a little bit and taunting the crowd.
See if we can find out.
Well, Antonio Coley was involved, Miami player, and I don't know who hit who first, but I think Coley was somewhere in there involved in it.
That was up around the 35-yard line after the ball went into the end zone.
I think Coley might have been clipped and might have taken exception to it. But there were about 6 flags thrown as the fight spilled all over that side of the field, and both benches empty.
Well, what do you do here if you're an official? You don't penalize anybody. If you saw somebody flagrantly fighting, you can eject some people.
Dennis Erickson got out there in the melee along with several of the Florida coaches. But it's not a very healthy place for a relatively small coach to be getting out and fight that size. I'll tell you, the officials, they had a terrible time getting control of it, but without the coaching staffs, they wouldn't have.
Miami's 3 touchdowns, Keith. Let's talk some football. Miami's 3 touchdowns all started on their own 20-yard line. They scored in 11 plays on their first possession. They scored in 8 plays in their 4th possession. And then on this last possession, 6 plays, 80 yards for the touchdown.
Well, the officials, I don't think, have really defined what they plan to do. They're still huddled out there in the middle of the field. The Colorado team is over there ready to go to work. But Dennis Erickson still got his people over here until he gets a declaration from the official.
Well, I'm sure they're talking about ejections. Did anybody see anything flagrant that should cause an ejection if anybody should be kicked out of the ballgame?
Well, while they talk, let me continue with what's happening next week. You can see the Texas A&M and Texas Tech is one of the regional telecasts. That'll start at 12 noon Eastern. You can check your cable operator to see which games might be available on pay-per-view. Oh, it's T.J. Cunningham, number 8. Cunningham. They run it with Salam, and he's taken down after an 8-yard pickup at the 28-yard line, and the clock continues to run. They'll have to spend their timeout.
Well, the best thing that can happen now, Keith, is for the 9 seconds to run off the clock and get into halftime and calm these 2 teams down. And remember that they have another half of football to play.
The wind appears to be a little brisker than it was at the outset, judging from the flags around the rim of the stadium. They're whipping pretty good right now. So the Miami Hurricanes go 80 yards 3 times and lead 21-6 as we come toward halftime.
Keith, the Hurricanes came in with a reputation being aggressive and really being a tough physical team. And of course, Colorado says all week, we're not afraid of these guys. We're going to stand up to them. Now, who does that affect the most? Is it going to affect Miami? I don't think so. That's the way they play normally. They're on the road. They rise to the occasion. They've done this many times. Colorado playing at home, and they fire them up too. You really can't tell until you see the rest of the game.
Salam is the man in motion. Vance Joseph takes off. On a quarterback draw that didn't work. Pouncing on him is Pat Riley. the defensive tackle, number 43 for Miami, and the half is over. So the two teams will go to the locker room to re-wrap their hands for the second half. 6, and we have the names of the players who were ejected, 7 for Miami and 5 for Colorado. I'll give them to you as soon as I can. The kick is beyond the field of play. Colorado will start at the 20. The first half stats look like this.
Total yardage is always an indicator. 241 for Miami, only 168. Colorado came in, remember, the second offensive team in the nation. Those numbers do not reflect the way they're used to playing. They came in averaging over 500 yards per game.
Cordell Stewart is back in at quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes. So that gets a roar from the crowd. Salam is the running back. He's got the ball. Rashan gets up across the 22. And that'll just about do it. T.J. Cunningham is the wideout, replacing Michael Westbrook, who was one of the 5 players from Colorado ejected in the big fight. The others were Dennis Collier, Jeff Bruner, Desmond Dennis, Westbrook, as we told you, and Jeff Blackman. Those are the players ejected for Colorado, from Colorado. I'll give you the Miami players after this play. It's 2nd down and 8 for the Buffaloes. Charles Johnson comes to the bottom of the picture. Cordell Stewart, coming off a minor concussion, ducks away from pursuit, can't get away from the second wave, and goes down at the 9. Now these are the Miami players that were ejected. Larry Jones, running back, Dennis Scott, Kevin Brinkworth, Alan Simonette, Omar Andrus, Saeed Tucker, tight end, and Kenny Holmes.
And not on that list is Kevin Patrick, who we thought before we went to the half was ejected, but he was in on that last sack. Number 86, Kevin Patrick.
Now the ball rests back near the 10-yard line, where it is 3rd down and about 19 for Colorado. The offense has not been on track today. And Cordell Stewart is hit by number 71, Kenny Lopez. Down he goes at the 15, and here's the game story.
Well, we said coming into the ball game that certain teams had to do things. Miami needed offensive consistency. They've gotten that. They've got 104 yards rushing, 137 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in 6 possessions. Colorado needed big plays. Westbrook, who is now out of the game, only 1 reception, and Johnson, the other outstanding receiver, only 1 reception, and no big plays from the running back.
Mitch Berger to punt, no pressure. Kick is out. Jonathan Harris back at the 43. Looking for some help from his friends and can't find any. He gets up to the 44, 1-yard return after a 43-yard punt, and Miami has very good field position.
The offensive leaders for Miami: Costa, a good first half, 1 touchdown. Bennett led the rushers, and Chris Jones the receivers. Miami first half possessions, they scored 3 touchdowns, all 80-yard drives, scored on their first possession, their 4th, and the last of the first half.
Wind is swirling around down on the field. Donnell Bennett is the single back. Frank Costa had a very good first half for the Hurricanes. Ball goes to Bennett, who had a huge first half, including a touchdown. This by far Miami's best starting point of the ball game. Bennett just picked up 3 yards before Woolfolk brought him down.
Keith, I think the point needs to be made for those who are not familiar with the Hurricanes. This is the offense, the 1-back, 3-wide receivers that they've used in the 4 years that Dennis Erickson has been at Miami. 46-4 he's been. They've been fooling around with a 2-back offense, trying to run the ball. They are not using that at all today. 1-back, and they're running the ball very well from the 1-back offense.
And beating a tough team on the road. Costa getting heat, pulls it down, and he's going to run it. And he gets out of bounds at midfield. Number 83, Dietrich Clausel, throws a block, and the officials jump all over it. He put the block on Darius Holland, and Holland knocked him down and stood there, probably said something, but the officials got him out of there. before he was beheaded.
Keith, you mentioned the names of the players that were ejected, and I think that is good. And I think it needs to go a step further. If you're ejected, like basketball in college, if you're ejected from a game in football, you ought to be out the next week also. Put some teeth into it so these kids won't go out and fight the next time there's an opportunity.
Bennett, the single back, Costa a little pop over the middle, and the pass is caught by Gerard Deafness, a redshirt freshman tight end, and he picks up a first down. So that's the first time we've seen that play today. Costas ended the first half with 5 straight completions and 85 yards in that last touchdown drive, and he starts off the second half with still a hot hand. He's thrown to 9 different receivers. Now, number 23, Larry Jones, who had been alternating at running back with Donnell Bennett, was one of those players ejected. He is not available. That means Daniel Ferguson, the speedster, is going to have to play more. He's got the ball right now. And he's got a first down as he goes to the Colorado 33-yard line. Wayne Davis finally brought him down.
Well, of the ejections, Miami loses 2 on the starting offense. Tucker, the tight end, and also Jones, the fullback, who normally starts at 2-back. But a lot of offensive backs for Miami. You see Ferguson probably with the most speed, just outrun Knutson, number 36, and picks up a first down. Miami is deep at the running back position.
A.C. Tellison, the 6'4" wide receiver, to the bottom of the picture. Got the sack.
Rogers came into the day with 2 sacks on the season, Colorado having 8. That's what they need to do, pressure the quarterback, tight coverage. Costa needs to be able to see the blitz coming, and if he can't avoid it, get rid of the ball and not take the sack. But this is only his 3rd start of his career.
Under the charge of number 46, Ted Johnson.
Costa's going to get hit from our right side. The outside linebacker right there. That's Rogers again, number 90, putting the pressure. Looks like at halftime, Hankowitz, the defensive coordinator, said let's go out and put some pressure on him, and they've done it the last couple of passes.
3rd down and 15. 3rd and 15. He calls it at the line of scrimmage.
This could be another blitz.
Pass is away. He's got his man. It is touchdown, Miami Tullison.
When you blitz, you leave your guys one-on-one. Right out here, he's going to run a deep route. Now watch the linebackers in here. As you're going to blitz, they're going to be one-on-one with everybody. Simmons, the man that is covering Tellison, is replacing Hudson, who is not in the ball game because of injury. When you blitz, you leave your corners one-on-one. Colorado blitzed successfully twice and got him. Miami got him on the 3rd one.
The kick is good. And 10:07 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Miami Hurricanes, 3rd ranked in the country, beginning to look like it. They lead 28-6. There's the man that held on to the football, even though the wind almost took it away from him. Yes, AC, what did you say? They put Miami out by a score of 28-6. And now the Canes will kick it off to the Buffaloes. Scott Barnwell hasn't allowed anybody a chance to return it. James Kidd looks at it. He might have had a chance on that one, except he kicked it out of bounds. Have the option of taking it up at the 35 or making them kick it again, and most people take it at the 35. Tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central, the first romantic triangle for just 2 people. An all-new episode for one of the best new shows of the season. Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher as Lois and Clark in the New Adventures of Superman tomorrow night on ABC. They'll take it on the 35 and get on with it. Again, Miami had 7 players ejected from the ball game in the big fight. Key man in that ejection, 2 of them, I think, for Miami. Larry Jones, running back, and Cy Tucker, tight end. And for Colorado, wide receiver Michael Westbrook in particular is going to be missed, and so will Dennis Collier and Jeff Bruner. Boilermakers putting up a fight. Cordell Stewart, coming off of a minor concussion, throws that into the ground for an incomplete forward pass intended for Charles Johnson. Stewart in the first half was 7 of 13. Joseph did a nice job when he came in. Salam not getting a lot done rushing, and Salam, the running back, leads the receivers, and you know that's problems when you've got wide receivers. Here's the first half possessions. Field goals in the 3rd and 5th possessions, and a missed field goal for Colorado. Option play. Didn't have any room. By the time he delivered the pitch to the trailing back, they had run out of real estate, and Ray Lewis was right in the middle of it. So Salam was tumbled into the crowd. Even though they moved the hash mark out a little better than 6 feet, he held on to the ball too long before he got rid of it. Defensive line. Watch the middle linebacker, 52 Lewis, unblocked. That's the problem with the Miami defense. Even though he doesn't make a play, knocks one of the spectators out of the way, but the defensive line doesn't allow the offense to get to the linebackers. They can run and make the plays. 3rd down and 9. Patrick's after him to pass behind the intended receiver, Charles Johnson. Johnson had double coverage. Westbrook is gone, making things a little easier for the Canes defense. Mitch Berger is coming onto the field to punt on 4th and 9. And Jamie German is going deep now, the true freshman from Fort Myers, Florida. There he is, number 7. And I mean, he can run. Didn't get all of it. Didn't get a spiral on it. German turns and then runs over a house full of black shirts. Not good judgment by the freshman. He gave up about 10 yards looking for room to run. Here comes Miami now from the 12-yard line. Costa 13 out of 19, 183 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Bennett's the single back. 3 wide options at the bottom of your picture. Bennett has the ball going the other way and trying to delay, wait for the blocking to develop. In the meantime, he was taken down by Ted Johnson after a yard pickup. Keith, you know, both of these teams in recent years has played in the Orange Bowl, and one of the great members of the Orange Bowl committee has had some surgery recently. We'd like to send along our best wishes. Ben Benjamin is, we're told, is home now, recovering from bypass, and a lot of his friends I know would like to know that. He's doing well, and Ben, we just all send our best and tell you to get well soon, and we'll see you soon. Hurry up, Ben. The avocados are ripe. 2nd down and 8. We want one aside when you get back, as soon as you're ready. Timeout called right here. Let's join John in our studio in New York. And his pretty lady Cheryl brought into this world the prettiest lady in town, Jordan Elizabeth, 3 months as of this week. And she didn't make the trip to Rocky Mountain Country, so Pappy, you owe her one. I hope she looks like Mama. Me too. She does. This grizzled old goat sitting over here to the right, Dave Burnson, that you really can't see him, but he's been with us 13 years. We do have some fun popping around doing college football. 2nd down and 8 now. 28-6, Miami leading. Costa back, gets it off and dropped. Penalty flag. We got 2 flags. It was dropped by Clausel, thrown behind him. Costa took a lick, too. I don't know, we may have a foul there.
On the offense.
No, it's just a holding call. threw it, caught one of the interior linemen holding on the play. On 2nd down and 8, Buffaloes have a look. They decide to take it. They do accept the penalty. Bill McCartney on the sidelines talking to Cordell Stewart. He is the quarterback coach. I personally think it's very difficult to be the head coach and also be a position coach. And I'll tell you why. Because I think a position coach becomes a buddy, a pal, a confidant.
Well, you have to be in the meetings. You have to be in the meetings, too.
Yep. 2nd down and 19. And here comes Danielle Ferguson out to the 15, 16-yard line before they can get a handle on the speedster.
One back, running attack. Watch the offensive line up front. Little trap. Both the right tackle and the right guard pull. That's Perry and Barber, number 60, do a nice job. Ferguson now got big plans. He starts trying to run east and west. He should just head north and got what the finish of that play had for him instead of running sideways.
3rd down and 7. Out of the shotgun, Costa steps up.
Poor throw.
Poor knuckleball. Poor throw. He had his man, too.
See, that's what Colorado wanted to do, make Costa move around. He doesn't seem to throw very well on the run. He's thrown some low balls here in the game.
And so Mike Chrissy comes in to punt. One other point on the head coach being a position coach, too, is that, part of this is a result of reduction in staff personnel. You don't have as many coaches as you used to have.
And they may go down another one next year.
That's right. All right, you got 10 Buffaloes up. They go for it, but can't get it. And Chrissy knocks it out of there. A good high hanger all the way back to the 40. And they force Charles Johnson into a fair catch, and there Colorado will have it for the 1st down. The Colorado Buffaloes beleaguered at home 28-6, 7:54 to go. In the 3rd quarter, own the ball at the 40-yard line. Lamont Warren, the running back, goes in motion to become a wide receiver. Cordell Stewart's pass is overthrown, intended for Charles Johnson. So they have handled Charles Johnson today, have these Miami Hurricanes.
Well, I think they've gotten some people around. We've documented the fact that they're going to double cover him. The problem is Cordell Stewart is not going to other people. This is not Colorado. I'm talking about a sophisticated passing attack. They do not have side adjustments. It's a very simplified passing attack. They say he's not ready for that yet, and they're going to build on this in the future. Miami is just eating this passing game up.
This is Lamont Warren with one of the better gains of the day. Good for a 1st down on the Miami side of the field at the 48, 5 seconds right here. So our ABC stations can tell you who they are. In the 1st half of the ball game, the Miami Hurricanes had 3 80-yard drives, had a huge fight. It was 21-6. Colorado had 5 players ejected, Miami 7 ejected. Miami has scored in the 2nd half as the Colorado defense broke down. Now Colorado's Lamont Warren with that little shovel pass. The old Utah. And they're down to the 16-yard line as Terrace Harris finally made the tackle. That's a good call.
Yeah, great play here and a good call. Going to roll to our right. Watch the end. That's short, number 50. He rushes upfield. You just pitch it inside of him. You don't even have to block him. Now some good open field running by this young man right here.
1st down from the 16. Cordell Stewart throws it. The pass is drilled and the pass is caught. It was a hard throw and a good catch by James Kidd. Dexter Siegler, one of the better cornerbacks in the country, just nailed it, but he put it away. pick up 8 yards on the play.
This Colorado offense is used to scoring points. They came in averaging 39 points over the first 3 games. We mentioned they're the second-ranked offense in the country.
Salam. Touchdown, Buffalo. Caution to the Miami faithful before you yawn. The band is still playing. This dance ain't over.
Well, we mentioned this team can score points. They do have a lot of big play people on it. Going for 2.
Going for 2. You got Johnson going to the top of the screen. You got Salam lined up in the backfield. T.J. Cunningham to the left. Stewart's going to hurry. Same play. Salam to the goal line, does not get there. Boy, he didn't miss by much, but they don't let him have it. And the score remains Miami 28 and Colorado 12.
Early to go on when Robert Smith, the way that story ended, was supposed to be the super student.
That's beyond the field of play. It'll come out to the 21st down Monday night. ABC Sports will go to the Georgia Dome. Barry Foster and the defending AFC Central champion Pittsburgh Steelers, who are having a rugged start this year, will go in against the Atlanta Falcons. And this story is rumbling around about Jerry Glanville's future. Live at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Falcons went out and got all those high-priced free agents, especially on defense, and didn't seem to help.
Dan Dierdorf wears pretty good-looking suits. I haven't seen you in any suits.
Well, he lost some weight. What are you talking about?
First down. Bennett hit at the line of scrimmage. Good, tough play by Ted Johnson, number 46, in the middle, and here's John.
Keith, Notre Dame and Purdue has been raining throughout the game. Just a soggy mess. Pike gets nailed by Jeff Burris. Brian Hamilton, it pops right to him. The gift, 28 yards for the touchdown. There's now been 8 turnovers in this game. 7-0, the Irish have the lead.
Playing in the one hole, huh? Second down and 9. Ferguson single back. Surrendered. Flavell 92, Knutson 36. It was thought that Colorado might well have had a schedule to set up a potential run to the national championship because they had Miami here. That's national exposure. They got Nebraska coming here. That's a big game in the Big 8. They had Stanford at Stanford, but that was a stumble, and now they got a problem with a hurricane. At 28-12. Third down and 7. Penalty flag. Pass is completed to the tight end, Clausel. And let's see about the flag. Referee is Wesley Ward.
Illegal formation on the offense.
Gotta have 7 on the line of scrimmage.
That's usually a wide receiver not on the line of scrimmage. 4 of the 7 wide receivers, the top 7 wide receivers, 4 of the top 7 are true freshmen on this ball club. Freshmen are true freshmen, or redshirt freshmen, first-year players. And that is a problem. That is one of the reasons why Erickson went to the 2-back offense, because he had a lot of depth at running back, and he lost all of his starting wide receiver and some of the backups. So, but I think he's answered the question today that he is going to stay with the 3-back, 3 wide receivers, 1-back offense.
Third down, a yard and a half. No, I mean 11 and a half. 11 and a half. Costa steps steps up into the pocket, throws, pass completed, penalty flag back around where the quarterback threw the ball, and Darius Holland is saying, no way, it fouls against Miami.
Well, he had a takedown there on the left tackle.
On the offense.
This is 2 first downs in a row that Miami has picked up. This is, you know, people were saying, what's wrong with Miami's offense? They were playing Costa. Costa is not the problem. They have too many drop balls and too many penalties. That time, the left tackle, Ricky Perry, just did a takedown on the defensive end.
Pass was caught by German, as you saw, but it doesn't count.
Here's a look at it over here. I know this is a passing shot, but watch these 2 guys out here on the outside. That's the tackle. Watch him as the end gets around him. He's just going to take him and throw him down. Now, the official is right up here at the top. He's looking right at that. That's all he is supposed to do after the ball is snapped.
So put the football back at the 6-yard line. And it's 3rd down and 24 for Miami. Now the crowd is up, making as much noise as they can in this high altitude. Lets it go as far as he could throw it. And they see Tellison was covered well by number 45, Maurice Henriquez. And now Miami will have to punt out of its own end zone.
Colorado doing a nice job, Keith. You got to remember, they're playing without both of their starting corners. The first one, Hudson was out with an injury, and Collier was thrown out in the fight. So both of the corners now, Henriquez 45, and on the other side, both back up at corner, doing a nice job. Good play.
Johnson is deep, and Chrissy standing in the end zone. No pressure. Not a bad kick. Comes out to the 45. Johnson has it. Taken down at the 30, penalty flag. They'll mark him at the 28-yard line, a 37-yard punt. Let's see about the flag.
Illegal block in the
Illegal
back,
block.
above the waist, on the
Against
return.
Colorado. So the Buffaloes hurt themselves again. We haven't heard from Jackaroo in a while. Does he have his wind back yet? Is he upright yet?
Keith, I'm here, and believe it or not, I'm trying to chase down a rumor. Get this. You know who's sitting in the stands for this game? Scott Bentley. Scott Bentley, who's from Colorado, he's here in the stands. We're trying to find him. If we do, you can bet your $500 that we're going to talk to him.
Scott Bentley, of course, the place kicker. He is from Aurora, Colorado. Went to Florida State. He's the man who's supposed to solve the wide right problems for the Seminoles. The Seminoles are not playing this week. So the penalty moved the ball back to the 45-yard line. That play, a broken play, as Cordell Stewart got something out of nothing, moved the ball to the 42-yard line.
Bentley was the #1 place kicker coming out of high school this year. He's a freshman with Florida State. We'll see him in a couple of weeks when we have the Hurricanes visiting Tallahassee.
2nd down and 7. Lamont Warren has the ball. Gets to the 38. He's got to go to the 35 for the first down. He needs 3 on 3rd down. A lot of people came over for this ball game. I understand that some of the Broncos are over here, including Big John. Phil McCartney needs some points at 2:54.
Elway and the Broncos had their hands full Monday night last in Kansas City, didn't they?
Yep, they did. James Hill, the fullback. Oh, my goodness. Salam is clobbered by number 91. Pouring in Darren Prine, who is also from Aurora, Colorado. Boy, there were 3 Canes in there in a hurry. We could see Prine on top. Loss on the play, back to the 41, where it is 4th down.
Prine is right here. He's just going to fight his way through and get in there and make the play. both defensive ends upfield. This defense, a very aggressive upfield style of play.
Marley got a piece of the action. On fourth down they go. 4th and 5. Cordell Stewart's pass is thrown. Charles Johnson makes a great catch at the 32-yard line in front of Dexter Siegler. He got him one-on-one for a change, and he hit him.
Well, you're exactly right. One-on-one for a change, and he beat him. As I mentioned, not a sophisticated passing attack, but when you get these guys one-on-one, and Johnson can go down and drive him off, Krein almost got in there again. Strong arm. That's a big first down, and I think it was a good play. 4th down, you had to go for it.
1:50 to play in the third quarter. 28-12, Miami leads. Stewart back. Down the pipe, up in the air by Ray Lewis, the freshman middle linebacker, playing with a sore leg. He almost got that thing up in the air high enough for somebody to have a chance at interception.
Well, he had 12 tackles last week against Virginia Tech. He's had 9 tackles so far here today, and we haven't even completed the 3 quarters.
We've had a ton of penalties. I mean, a truckload, but no turnovers. 2nd down and 10. Warren. There's Lewis. Number 52, Ray Lewis, 6'1", 216, freshman, Lakeland, Florida. He was not listed in the Miami book. There's no information about him in the book because he had not passed his SAT when the book was printed. But he was highly recruited, an MVP for his team in both his junior and senior years, had over 200 tackles.
Passed his SAT in June. That's the last opportunity he had to take it. Got the results in July, called Miami, says, hey, coach, I passed it. Do you have a scholarship? A couple other guys didn't make it. They said, yes. Come on, you got a scholarship.
Pass intended for Warren, swinging out. Thrown behind him, incomplete.
Pass intended for number 12, Warren.
Mitch Berger comes back on the field now. On 4th down.
4th down, 8 yards.
It was close to being a backward pass, but
went out of bounds.
official ruled that it wasn't. If it was a backward pass, they would have moved it back.
Berger into attempted 47.
Backward pass being a lateral, obviously.
Going to hit it right around the 47. I mean 37. The 47-yarder was plenty long. I mean, that one's worth 65 yards. He was above the uprights. And it is good. And so, with 1:26 to play in the third quarter, it is now 28-15. Well, it's getting nervous time, I'll tell you. This party's not over.
Colorado has scored on its last 2 possessions.
Berger drills it to German. He dropped it in the end zone. Better put it down. Oh, my goodness. That's a freshman mistake. Yep. He probably thought he had to come out.
Well, if the momentum carried the ball in the end zone and he was still in the end zone, even if he muffed it, he never had possession of it.
No.
He could stay in.
Yep. One of the officials, one of the linesmen, I think it was, got caught in the middle of that. The German was in the end zone, muffed the ball, and I don't think he had to return it. But he tried to.
He did not.
So, Cain's got a problem, and here's Jack.
Keith, I told you I'd find him. Look who I found. The guy that's going to hopefully end the Wide Right Classic, Scott Bentley from Colorado. You got a week off. So far, you've watched Miami. What do you think?
And they look good on the road. You know, we're gonna have to be gunning that game. I mean, hey, they look real good, and they're tough to beat on the road. So we just gotta hope we're looking good too.
Now, Bobby Bowden recruited you specifically for your foot. We'll talk about that after we watch this play.
The ball is just short of the 10, where it's first down for the Canes. Colorado trying to get back into the hunt. Costa quickly to the sidelines. Good to Chris T. Jones. Chris Jones is up across the 20 to the 23, and that's a first down. And let's go back to Jack.
As so many people in Tallahassee have said, their hopes ride on you to end those wide rights. You were recruited for your foot. What kind of pressure do you feel going into that game?
You know, I feel a lot of pressure going into that game, but, you know, the big thing is I got to look at it just as another game, you know. I can't have the wide right thing in my mind at all, or I might miss that way. If I do, you know, I'm human, I might. Hopefully I won't, but I got to treat it just like another game.
One more question after this.
I like him. He's got a lot of poise. First down. Costa throws. Pass caught by Jonathan Harris. Very difficult pass. Great catch. Great catch by Harris. Jack again.
Well, Keith, when we talk about the Wide Right Classic, 2 times in a row, field goals that one could have won the game and Miami could have tied the game. You watched those games on television. What were your thoughts? Did that play any part in your decision to go to Florida
I
State?
think, you know, it put a big emphasis on the kicking game at Florida State. You know, they realized that it's an important part of the game, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Well, good to see you.
Thank you.
Scott Bentley. We'll see him October 9 in Tallahassee as Miami plays Florida State. First down for the Canes. The ball is up on the 36-yard line. This is Donnell Bennett, who will put a hat on you. And he did a little paint swapping right there with number 23, Greg Lindsey.
That conversation with Bentley, just let me say this. I don't think it's right for us to throw all of our pressure on this kid. I mean, Florida State may blow Miami out by 3 touchdowns, and he may never have to kick it. But, you know, what has happened in the past was not his fault. And I think you're right, Keith. He's a very level-headed kid, and if he got the opportunity, I think he'll do very well. Yep. Costa may be hurt. The last time he was sacked throwing that ball, he was moving his arm around a little bit.
Bennett now has 103 yards in the ball game on 15 carries. He's been the house for him today. The official stopped it here for some reason. You see the quarterback Costa rotating his arm around, trying to keep it loose.
He was sacked a little bit earlier on that completion to Harris and got up moving his right arm, and usually that means, and he's done it about 5 or 6 times. He is 15 of 22 for 209 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Nobody warming up. Tough place to call a play at the line of scrimmage. This is Ferguson, and he's close to his first down. I think he had to go a little bit beyond the 46. He's right at the 46. Time expiring in the 3rd quarter of play, and the referee has stopped the clock. Peers across the way and says we will measure with 10 seconds to play in quarter number 3. You know, while they bring the change on, the last time I was here to do a football game, Bob, was October 21, 1972. Colorado broke an Oklahoma win streak, beat the Sooners 20-14. Charlie Davis had a big game that day. Eddie Crowder was the coach. I got acquainted with Ralphie, ran me right up into the back of a truck, and our producer Bob Goodrich was a young PA.
So you got an up-close and personal look at Ralphie, huh?
Yeah, I've been informed that he was a pretty good PA. Just short. Well, I had a nice long visit with Dal Ward. Met a lot of old friends over this part of the country. They've been very gracious and hospitable to us while we've been here. It's a fun place to come.
Amen.
Chuck Ninus, executive director of the CFA, lives here in Boulder. We had a chance to visit with him and his wife, Patty. I'd give him credit for the dinner, except I don't think he cooked it. Just a tad short, as you can see. This will be the last snap of the 3rd quarter.
This is a situation where you want to keep the ball, and I think rather than go for a big play on a 3rd and short, they're going to let the quarter run out here. I think it's more important that you pick up the first down in this situation and maintain possession.
13-point lead Miami. Back after this message and the words from our ABC station. Blue skies of Colorado, Rocky Mountain country. Folsom Field, the University of Colorado in Boulder. Final quarter coming up. Miami 28, Colorado 15. Miami ranked 3rd in the nation coming in. Colorado 13th. Bennett, a single back. Miami's ball, third down and a foot or less. Give it a minute. There's your first down.
Well, if you're ever committed to the one back after playing with a two back and one back and trying to run the ball, third and short in a critical time, you go one back and pick up the first down. They're committed to the one back. Look at the third quarter stats through three quarters. Total yardage, Miami by a little over 100 yards. The amazing thing, no turnovers. These two teams came in tied for sixth in the nation in the best turnover margin in the country in the time of possession, about the same.
So it's first down at the 49-yard line for the Canes. Little pop to Jonathan Harris, gets a block, gets going to the 40, 35, falls down, stays up, he scores. It'll be first down at the 31. Now let's find out what George Brett has decided to do. John, tell us, will you please?
Yes, I will, Keith. He's made it official. At the end of this season, George Brett will retire. Right now, a .305 lifetime batting average, 3,147 hits, 315 home runs. Next up, the Hall of Fame, that in 1998. He'll go in, of course, with Nolan Ryan. He'll be a VP of the Royals. Back to you.
That'll be after he hustled some bucks on the golf course. Pretty good. Ball is handed. Ferguson fumbles. Colorado got it at the 29. Greg Lindsey covered it. Break for the Buffaloes.
I think it was Woolfolk, the linebacker, who really, we haven't called his name too much today to really call it the fumble. Number 56 in the black jersey right there, being blocked by Barber, just reaches in, knocks the ball loose from Ferguson. Ferguson had a fumble last week. Big turnover. We mentioned there was no turnovers yet. Here it is right here. First turnover of the day for either team.
All right, let's see if they can do something with the break. Salam is the deep back. Cordell Stewart sends him outside. Stewart's pass is away and almost intercepted. No catch. No catch. Closer. Charles Johnson tried to scoop it off the ground, but he couldn't do it. Dexter Siegler almost had it.
Just doesn't see Siegler coming. Looks to me like he caught it. Looks to me like he caught it.
That official looking right at him, the back judge, was just a few feet from him, and he instantly waved it off.
Yeah, but he can be wrong instantly, too.
Well, he's right there. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It ain't going to work. Salam up to the 40-yard line on the first down. Says it's incomplete. It's incomplete, wrong or no.
That's for sure, and I'm with them all the way. They can make mistakes just like anybody else. 4 possessions for Colorado in the second half. They've scored on their last 2 possessions. The momentum definitely on their side. That fumble by Miami wasn't as critical as it could have been because it was kind of deep in Colorado's own territory.
Stewart gets away, throws low. T.J. Cunningham, number 8, was the man trying to scoop it, but Stewart has not thrown that well on the run today.
He is not. He has not thrown well. That ball, he was outside the pocket. Cunningham was open. Try to throw it too hard when you're out there running. Just need to take a little bit off of it and make sure that you're going to be completing the pass to somebody. Stewart in the first half versus the second half. A lot of that yardage in the second half was that shovel pass that he completed. They may try to go back and try that. That has worked pretty nicely.
He's missed his last 4.
Blitz.
Works. Lewis. Wayne Lewis. Loss is all the way back to the 33-yard line.
This kid is really something else. Timed that blitz very nicely.
7-yard line.
Got the cadence down, upper left of your screen right there, just above the guard, times it perfectly. So you don't know what's going on down there until you've heard the cadence, and he's heard it, and he's heard it, and he timed it very nicely, and the guard didn't see him coming. 13 tackles for the true freshman.
That's 25 in the last 2 games, and this one's not over. That is caught by Lamont Morin, turns it back inside, and takes a wallop from Rowan Marley. 5'8", 205 pounds. Oh, I tell you, he rattled his timbers. So it's kicking time.
I tried Marley at a defensive back when he first came to Miami because he was so small. He's fearless.
Jamie German is the return man for Mitch Berger's punt. Gets it off. He took an extra step and advanced with it before he kicked it and angled it off the side of his foot. So half a shank will give Miami the ball in pretty good field position at the 29-yard line.
Coming into the game, it was Colorado's offense that was putting up all the yardage, but Miami's offense has come alive, reverting back to their old one-back offense.
On first down, call it the 30-yard line. Costa sets him up, gives it to Bennett. Bennett runs into Woolfolk. And finally turned back in by Gary Hicks and taken down. Justice Byron White, Supreme Court Justice, retired earlier this year. He was University of Colorado's first All-American back in 1937. As you can see what the Hurricanes have been doing over the last 7 years. They retired jersey number 24, and he went on to become the 3rd Colorado football player to receive a Rhodes Scholarship. Went to Oxford in 39. His brother, Clayton, was the 2nd football player to get a Rhodes Scholarship, and George Carlson was the 1st. So 3 Buffaloes have gone to Oxford to study with Rhodes Scholarship. Costa's pass to the tight end, Clausel, and that's a first down for the Miami Hurricanes out to the 41-yard line. And Bob, an old teammate of years, being honored here at Boulder today and going into the National Foundation Hall of Fame, Dick Anderson.
Dick Anderson going into in December in New York, the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame dinner. Dick Anderson, there he is on the right, getting a little tan on the Golden Dome there. Went on to play with the Miami Dolphins and an outstanding career.
Let me correct that. It was Gerard Deafness, not Clausel, that made the pass reception. Here comes James Stewart, number 28, the sophomore out of Vero Beach. And the 235-pounder angles up across the 46-yard line. You know, 235 pounds just 10 years ago was in the trenches.
That's true.
And now they're running backs, wideouts.
Well, they've got a lot. This is the 5th running back for Miami that has played today. Bennett and Jones, Ferguson, Harris, and Stewart. That's part of the reason he went back to the 2-back offense, other than the fact that their running game last year was like 87th in the country. They wanted to run a little bit more. But this is the offense that Erickson is going to use, you got to believe, for the rest of the season.
People moving around, that gets a penalty flag. Costa throws the ball away, not risking interception on the play. The reason we haven't called Larry Jones' name for a while, he was kicked out of the ball game. He was one of the 7 players ejected at the close of the first half. Defense faked the charge. Offense moved. The offensive lineman moved, I think, was the sequence.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the offense. A dead ball. Offside on the defense.
Oh, well.
Play will offset and replay second down.
Tomorrow night, America's Funniest Hour is back on ABC. Bob Saget keeps the cameras safely rolling on America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by the all-new America's Funniest People, starting at 7, 6 Central on ABC.
Well, you know, what happens there is a defensive lineman moves, Keith. A defensive lineman moves, and then an offensive guy reacts, and they don't call anything. And I don't agree with it. I mean, this guy is going to move, and then all of a sudden he's going to move over here. Now, the defensive man's going to move a little bit, and then the offensive guy moves. The defensive man wasn't offside when the ball was snapped, so it's the offensive guy that moved illegally. Although that tight end is allowed to move, but the ball was snapped and he was in motion.
It's second down and 5. Here's Stewart again. And he gets about 2 yards on that carry.
Go back to what, as you look at Notre Dame pulling away.
Yep. Arizona scoring some points today for a change. Oregon State.
We'll check and see how many points the Arizona defense scored.
Yeah, right. Nobody beaten California yet.
Louisville. Howard Schnellenberger.
I'll tell you what, I'll bet you that Howard Schnellenberger has got a good football team up there at Louisville. Timeout call, 3rd down and 3 coming up with Miami leading 28-15.
Flexing its muscle in its first year in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Defense, terrific defense. 3rd down and 3 for the Miami Hurricanes at their own 48-yard line. Darnell Bennett puts the shoulder square, down goes the head, the knees pumping away, and he's got a first down. Go back to the point on Howard Schnellenberger, who's now at Louisville, and I think has a very good team coming up. We've got a Buffalo herd on the play. But it was Howard Schnellenberger that started things rolling at the University of Miami. A guy named Kelly showed up, first name Jim, ex-line guy that they wanted to make a linebacker out of at Penn State. And it was with Kelly and company that Schnellenberger produced the first national championship at Miami. And since then, it's been nothing but success.
Jimmy Johnson took over, and he won a national championship. And then Dennis Erickson took over, and he won a national championship. They've won 4 championships in 10 years, and really, they've done it, if you want to think about Frank Costa, each year they've done it in an odd-numbered year, and they've also done it with a quarterback that was starting for the first time that year.
Incidentally, the man hurt is Ted Johnson, inside linebacker, junior from Carlsbad, California.
Let's take a look at the top 10. The way things are going today, everybody is winning or they are off. Alabama won big. Notre Dame is winning. Nebraska wins big. Michigan 21 over Houston. And Oklahoma. Oklahoma pretty strong this year.
Time still out for an injured Ted Johnson. Though groggy and helped off the field, Ted Johnson was walking. He leaves the game with 12 tackles in his inside linebacker position for Colorado. Right now for Miami, it's first down at the Buffalo 48, 9 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the game, and Miami leading 28-15. There goes Stewart, big hole. Finally knocked out of bounds, and I'll tell you what, he laid a lick on Greg Lindsey. He turned him upside down, the strong safety for the Buffalo.
Again, the reason the one-back running game is working for Miami is because they're spreading everybody out. Normally there'd be a linebacker over here to our left side, but he's out over the wide receiver. 16 is Russell. He's the inside linebacker that came in for Johnson.
Watch 23.
Just gets run over. But you spread them out, you create some holes just by the alignment.
First down at the 31. Buffaloes are offside. That'll be 5 yards. And stop the clock at 9:21.
Stewart, the ball carrier.
Offside on the defense.
Here's a look at Miami's first-year starting quarterbacks and the final national championship ranking. Kozar won in 83, Walsh in 87, Erickson in 89, Torretta in 91, and Frank Costa. A lot of talk in Miami about is he going to be the next one?
Erickson's about to start, isn't he, for Tampa Bay?
Yep, he sure is. Has to doing very well today in the one back.
First down and 5. Bennett behind it. Pass is not well thrown. Intended for Al Shipman, number 32. Second about Bill McCartney and the things that he doesn't talk much about. Bob Simmons, a defensive line coach, was named assistant head coach this spring. He's a black man. Says he's ready to be a head coach. Well, now currently there are 3 black coaches at Division 1A schools. Ron Dickerson at Temple, Jimmy Caldwell at Wake Forest, and Ron Cooper at Eastern Michigan. Dickerson and Caldwell were on McCartney's first staff at Colorado. He's produced 6 head coaches off his staff since he came here. This is Stewart. And no flags, touchdown Miami. So Stewart blows it up the middle. And the Colorado defense looks pretty tired. There was nobody at home in the middle of the field.
Just straight blocking the offensive line. Nobody pulls. 16 is Russell. He gets blocked out of there by Jones, the center. And everybody else, the defensive back, recovering wide receivers looking for pass.
Kick is good. That's about as empty a center field as I've seen.
Well, the problem is, you just saw earlier, Ted Johnson, the inside linebacker, went off the field.
Yep.
And his replacement, Russell, a redshirt freshman, was in there. And Stewart, who is the 5th back to get in for the University of Miami in that one back.
Miami scoring drive 70 yards.
It's a big play.
So it's 35-15 and takes most of the mystery out of the contest. So here's what has happened up to this point. First quarter, Miami ahead 7-0, 80-yard drive as Bennett took it in from 2 yards. Also first quarter, Mitch Berger, 54-yard field goal, 7-3. Colorado on the board. Second quarter, Donnell Bennett's second touchdown, a tough, good 45-yard touchdown run, breaking a tackle. Then it was 14-6, Berger's 44-yard field goal. And then 21-6 as Chris T. Jones hauled in a 25-yard pass for a touchdown. Third quarter, it was to 28-6 as A.C. Tellison caught a 37-yard pass for a touchdown after wobbling it a bit. 28-12 as Salam scored from 7 yards for Colorado. Then it went to 28-15 on a 47-yard field goal by Mitch Berger. And now we just saw a moment ago Stewart gallop into the end zone to make it 35-15. The kickoff by Barnwell to the 5, and the first return of the day by James Kidd. And he comes across the 25 to the 27, and here's Jack.
The problem, as you said, Bob Greasy, on that touchdown was the absence of Johnson. He's here on the sidelines. What the doctors have said is he is suffering from a mild concussion. Very doubtful whether he will return the rest of the day.
He's plucky, boy. He stuck his head right into that melee. He's done it all day long.
One other thing that McCartney has done for this program is win a national championship, Keith.
Don't be misled by the fact that his team looks like they're going to lose 2 in a row. First down and 10 as Cordell Stewart throws to T.J. Cunningham. And he's got the ball to the 37-yard line. May not be a first down.
Colorado is not used to losing at home. They've only lost 1 game in the last 27 played here at Folsom Field. The Hurricanes, on the other hand, are a very good road team. They have won 12 straight on the road and 39 of the last 44. That goes back to 1983. So the Canes play well at home as well as on the road. They got that 52-game streak at home.
Charles Johnson gets a bullet from Cordell Stewart. The pass is good for a first down for the Buffaloes as it goes down to the Miami 45-yard line. Most of the players in Miami colors are from Florida. For Colorado, it's a state with a light population. 27 from Colorado and 21 from California, part of the roster for the Buffaloes right now. The makeup of the two teams quite different. The pass is low, couldn't do it. TJ is a sophomore, and he is from Aurora. Boy, if they had all those kids up that have come from Aurora up there playing ball, they could start their own team.
Injury report from the Colorado sideline, number 46, Ken Johnson, a concussion. He will not return.
Stewart looks for Johnson. Takes off to the 35-yard line in the first half. 7.5 minutes to play in the ball game. Here again, Jack.
Well, Keith and Bob, as you said, Boulder, Colorado, the home of the College Football Association, the CFA. And one of the things we talk about all the time is the good works of people. Well, the CFA is involved with one, and Derek West of the Colorado Buffaloes was cited for exemplary community service, one of the 11 national players to be cited by the CFA for good works this year.
That's Lamont Warren carrying the ball, but running sideways, and it was not going to get you much against Miami. Because you can't outrun them, that's why.
Sideways, they don't, they've got the speed. Warren came in to today the leading rusher in the Big 8, averaging 95 a game.
You saw that Boston College scored 66 points. They've been kind of frustrated. They were one of the teams, in fact, they lost to Miami in the opener.
Let's look at the #1 rusher in the Big 8. That's just through the first 3 games, and that's against non-conference opponents.
He came back a little lighter, having run track. He's a better running back this year than he was last year. And that'll be good for your first down for Colorado, as they've got the ball down near the Miami 21-yard line now. But next week, Boston College gets together with Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. So if Tom Coughlin, Glenn Foley and that bunch have found their offense, that might be an entertaining ball game. Just inside the 22. Stewart runs away from the pressure. Throws, and it's incomplete. Dexter Siegler had his hands on it again. Boy, he's had his hands on about 4 passes today that, given a little luck, he could have picked off. You know, that Boston College-Syracuse game could be one of those CFA regional games next week. Then after the regional games are done, we'll have Notre Dame and Stanford from the farm at 3:30 Eastern time.
Talking about Howard Schnellenberger, I think he and those 2 pictured there, right there, Walsh and Holtz, are 3 of the best sideline coaches in college football.
Great catch by Charles Johnson. A remarkable young man who took his degree in marketing from Colorado August of this year. Time he's done may own all the receiving records here at CU.
Things are loosening up for Johnson a little bit. Miami secondary not double him so much, playing 3 deep and just taking away any big plays. Johnson caught 57 passes for over 1,000 yards last year.
Ball is first down and goal, Colorado at the Miami 7. Stewart lobs to the corner. Johnson's got it. Touchdown. He got behind Siegler.
The Hurricanes were blitzing. That's man-to-man coverage. Siegler, the best that the Hurricanes have to offer. This is a great throw. And a nice catch. He'll be in the top round of the NFL draft. That's 5 catches, 63 yards, and a touchdown for Johnson.
Kick down the highway. 35-22 is now your score at 6:34 to play in the game. CF 35-yard line. Berger watches it roll off the tee. He's looking for an onside here. You can tell by the way everybody's lined up. And Dennis Erickson and all of his coaches have put in the special teams coaches put in all of the good hands people up front.
New college rule, you've got to have 4 members of the kicking team on either side of the ball.
At least 4 members. There's your onside try. Oh, it's a good bounce. They got a shot at it. They got it. Darren Tadlock, number 27, looked like the man who got it.
just an excellent kick. This is what you want. You want to kick it and get a bounce. That's a poor play there by German, the freshman. Now 2 of them are fighting for it. Not only do they not get it, but they're helping move the ball further downfield. Colorado down by 13 with 6.5 minutes to play.
Ball is first down at the Miami 36-yard line. And the place has come alive. Lamont Warren behind Cordell Stewart. He looks for Charles Johnson. He completes the pass in front of Dexter Ziegler. Not a first down. It was second down and about 2.
Now the confidence level is up. Johnson is there. Cordell Stewart, the quarterback, is on target. And the momentum is got a black shirt. The Hurricanes are just standing around reacting.
Oh, Mo with a fickle soul. Stewart changing his play. Give it to Warren. Yes, in the backfield. Makes a first down at the 21-yard line. Make it the 22-yard line. They took a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage. Ray Lewis just missed him. And he got a first down.
This scenario is very much similar to what happened to Colorado last week at Stanford, when Stanford came from 10 back to win the game.
They only have 4 minutes to do it. Stewart swings it out to Warren. 3 Canes over here, and they handle him toward the line of scrimmage. Get him out at the 23. He lost a yard. You saw that Colorado State lost to Nebraska today. Sonny Lubick, who had been the defensive coordinator in Miami, is now the head coach up at Fort Collins, Colorado, at Colorado State. Now let's pause 5 seconds for our ABC stations to identify themselves. Just a few minutes ago, it looked like Miami had this game put away at 35-15. But Colorado scores to make it 35-22. With 5:29 to play, they're down on the Miami 24-yard line. And Stewart throws down the middle. The pass is completed to the 5-yard line. First down and goal to go for Colorado. Charles Johnson made the catch, and he was absolutely swallowed by the Miami defenders, but he caught it anyway. All White is the Hurricane who is hurt.
Well, they're back to double covering him right here. He's still just going to release to the inside and break to the inside. Square in against double coverage. It's a good route to have on and a nice throw.
Charles Johnson, All-American, showing why right here.
Big-time player right there. He's averaging 127 yards per game.
All White is the Miami player hurt and down on the field. Charles Johnson had 18 catches coming into the ball game today, and he now has, I believe, 7 catches. So he has 25 on the season. Let's take a timeout.
2.5 hours with their lights on, and Die Hard starts them all.
2 decades of demonstrations.
After 2 months on a frozen lake, the Die Hard starts.
You've seen the awesome starting power of the Die Hard battery. Now it's even tougher. Introducing the Die Hard Weather Handler, built to handle the extremes even better. Now get a great introductory price, only $49.99. You save $10 through October 2nd. America's #1 battery just got tougher.
Let's ride!
Load it up and have a ball. New Pontiac Transport's got it all.
The roominess and convenience of flexible seating, the safety of standard anti-lock brakes and airbag. 2, count 'em, 2 built-in child seats, and a great new look.
New Pontiac Transport, it's got it all.
Imagine a cold medication so effective, 1 tablet keeps symptoms from coming back a full 24 hours. Introducing Effidac 24, the first cold tablet for consistent 24-hour relief.
Look, Sudafed drops off after 6 hours, Tavist after 12, so your symptoms keep coming back. But just one Effidac gives consistent relief for 24 hours.
So your symptoms don't come back. New 24-hour Effidac keeps cold symptoms from coming back.
Paul White is still down. Actually, his injury stemmed from the fact that he ran into Terrace Harris, the free safety. There's the collision right there. 19 is 6. 19 is Richardson, 6 is Harris, 4 is White, and here's the collision.
Right side of your screen, 4 is White. I don't know.
It looks to me like Harris ought to be the one that was rattled around by
maybe
it.
he just got his bell rung.
Let's check in with John.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. Let's get you up to date on Arizona and Oregon State. Chuck Levy, 42 yards. You know about their defense. Today they did it on offense as well, rolling to the victory 33-0 as Arizona is now 4-0 on the season. Meanwhile, Texas and Louisville, the Cardinals also now 4-0. Best start since 1972. 41-10 was the final there. We'll continue to update scores throughout your game. Right now, let's take you back to you, Keith.
All right, John. Charles Johnson is already the all-time leading receiver for the Colorado Buffalo. He did that in game number 2 against Baylor. He's just set the Buffaloes up for a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line with Salam the deep pack. Ball is handed to the up pack. James Hill, touchdown, Buffalo. Was thrown before the snap.
And illegal participation on the defense. We had illegal formation, not enough men on the line of scrimmage on the offense.
Do it again.
I don't understand the illegal participation. I only see 11 players for the Hurricanes. Usually that's a 12-man penalty.
We'll do it again. Maybe he confused that swift-footed, nimble fellow named Aruk, flashing through the end zone.
Well, it's a big point, too, because...
Yes. He got it again. So, you have a 6-point ball game. What looked like a lock early in the 4th quarter for Miami is now just 6 points.
Watch the right guard. He's going to pull and create a hole, a gap for the fullback right up the center. So a cross block between the center, Stoltenberg, and Hammond, 76. As advertised, the number 2 offense in the country, Colorado, going against the number 2 defense in the country, Miami, and it took a little time, but the number 2 offense is catching up.
And the fat lady has set out.
For now.
Do you go onside again, or you did with 5 minutes to play? Do you knock it deep?
I think your chances of getting 2 onside kicks are not very good. You kick it deep and play defense.
Yep.
The pressure is on Miami offensively right now.
Miami's got, again, wide receivers, defensive backs, linebackers, and running backs out on the field. taking the long walk. It looks to me like he's going to take a full swing at it. Ziegler and Harris are the deep people for Miami. It'll come out to the 21st down for the Canes. Monday night, ABC Sports will be in the Georgia Dome. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons live at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on ABC's Monday Night Football.
We get word that Paul White, the cornerback for the Hurricanes, has a concussion, not be back today.
Playing on the rug. It's a good one. They got those special shoes. They get good traction. They're going like a runaway train, and when they run together, they get hurt. First down at the 20. Costa needs to get him out of the hole here. Buffalo defense storming. Give it to Bennett. Bounces it outside. And gets it out to the 27-yard line. A good tough run by Donnell before Woolfolk brings him down. Ron Woolfolk, 240-pounder, 6'4", came here as a quarterback. And Bill McCartney was recruiting him. He said, yes, you can play quarterback in Colorado. Come on. So he put him out there on the field. And all of a sudden, he realized at his size, at his foot speed, that he was probably 5th or 6th among the quarterbacks. And so he went looking for another place to play and settle down at end or outside linebacker, and he's become a terrific football player.
Sure has.
Second down and 2.5. This is Stewart for the first down. So James Stewart, who blew up the middle for a big score for Miami, ran over Greg Lindsey a little while ago, and this time Greg turned the tables and took him down. Stewart now 5 carries and 53 yards.
There's a look at Hudson. We were told he was not going to play as a bruised knee, but because of the expulsion of Collier, he's in there the last series.
Stewart is the running back. Got a lot of company on the 30-yard line. Did not quite get there. So he's going to lose on the play. And they'll be just short of the 30 as Henriquez came over. Wisconsin continues undefeated after their win today. And Louisville, as we pointed out a little while ago, remains undefeated. They'll put the ball at the 30. And it'll be second down at about 12 for Miami.
I guess they ruled that his forward progress was stopped before he went out of bounds.
Bennett, single back. We're going to have to throw it here in a minute. Second and 12. Keep it on the ground. Give it to Bennett. He breaks one tackle. And still struggling. John Knutson had a hold of him. He got away from him and moved the ball out to the 36-yard line. They've got to go very close to the 42 to get a first down.
They broke some tackles because Knutson and some of the other defenders were going for the ball.
Gain to the 36-yard line.
Still sitting on the ground.
Down 5 yards to go.
There's Big John from Great Falls,
Montana. He's the only player on this team from the state of Montana.
Called by Colorado. They have 1 remaining. Miami with 2 remaining. The time is what is important. That's what's forcing them to call the time. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. 35-29 ball game. Miami leading by 6. They led by 20 in the 4th quarter. But the Buffs have come storming back. Alabama apparently has figured out how to score some points. Jay Barker pulled a stomach muscle, and Ryan Bergdorf got a chance to play for the Tide today and made the most of it.
Jay Barker has never lost a game as a starter at Alabama. Was he 18, 19 in a row or something like that?
I think he's probably 20 now. Put it on the 36, make it 3rd down and 6. Right here, you would think Miami's going to throw it. German is in there. Christy Jones is in there, and so is Jonathan Harris. Look for the blitz. Donnell Bennett's a pretty good receiver. Pass is thrown to the tight end, and it is caught by Clausell, and it is good for a 1st down. Just by the hair of your chinny chin chin. I mean, no more than a foot.
That's close, but it's a 1st down.
7-yard gain to the 43-yard line.
So by that much, the Miami Hurricanes keep possession of the ball. Colorado has 1 1st down remaining, and time 2 minutes and 33 seconds. James Stewart in the backfield. Costa gives it to him. Big hole left side for Stewart. Oh, he's a tough guy. Ball is stripped away from him, but they call him down at the 36.
They gave him the ball. Colorado's ball.
It is Colorado's ball, but he's down at the 36. Ball is stripped away from Stewart by Chris Hudson, who has just come into the game. Hudson not expected to play today, but he comes in and he has made a huge play.
Right side. Good block on Knutson by Momelski. Now you shouldn't be carrying the ball in this hand anyway. Switch it over.
Long hand.
Hudson with a big-time play. Hudson has made 15 starts in his career and has 11 interceptions. He's used to taking the ball away.
So Hudson with a big play. Colorado with a big opportunity against Miami. Cordell Stewart throws to the sideline. Oh, my goodness. Rowan Marley had it, couldn't hold it. How many times has Miami had their hands on the ball today and not caught it? Got the ball in the wrong hand.
Yep.
Should be on the outside hand.
That's just perfect for the defensive guy to take it away right there.
As Hudson strips the ball, he has possession, but he's down. That's why they started the possession at the 36. Stewart on 2nd down and 10. Steps away from the pressure. Throws it deep as he can for Charles Johnson, and it is too far and out of bounds. And Warren Sapp goes over to Cordell Stewart, slapped him on the butt and said, probably, you're a tough guy, mister. Warren just pounded it if you let it go.
Well, the marquee matchup coming into the game was Colorado offensively, and could Miami defensively stop them? It's only fitting that it comes down to this. 2 minutes left. 6 points behind.
Colorado with 1 timeout. Miami with 2. It's 3rd down and 10. Stewart, good protection. Throws. Johnson's got it. 1st down, Buffaloes. Miami 43-yard line. Charles Johnson.
They've got him doubled. That's the front man right there. Now you'll see the next man right there. He just goes right in between them, and Stewart finds him.
Put it on
Bobby
the
Tuberville,
42-yard line of Miami.
Tuberville, the defensive coordinator, said we're not going to let the wide guys beat us. Well, getting close.
Got to cinch up your britches right here. 1:46 to play in the game. A 6-point difference. Stewart, little shovel pass, goes to Lamont Warren. Runs right through the tackle. On his way to the 20 and out of bounds inside the 18 and a 1st down. He got away from Darren Fine. Warren Sapp is the man hurt. The big Miami tackle is down back on the 45-yard line.
It's the shovel pass. It's a great call. You know they're going to be coming upfield. Klein misses the tackle. It's still a game of blocking and tackling. They've got to be able to tackle. That's a great call by offensive coordinator Elliot Uzelac. 2-minute drills, Colorado has been very successful. 75% success rate.
Point is, Warren Sapp, the big defensive tackle for Miami, is dragging the leg as he is helped off the field. That may be that ankle. You can see that ankle is already heavily taped, so he may have re-injured that sprained ankle.
He came in with a sprained, they actually said it was a sprained Achilles tendon. So take a look at Johnson, his replacement.
Wayne Johnson, 267-pound junior, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Well, it's gut check time. First down on the 17-yard line of Miami. Stewart turns and hands the ball to Salon. And Salon is a hard-running tailback. And he's down to the 11. That's 6 yards and a minute and 20 to play in the ball game. And Sapp has come back.
Sapp has come back.
No, not Sapp. Lopez.
I was going to say,
Lopez.
They carry Sapp off and he's back.
Lopez just galloped in there. He's looking for Johnson. And again, it's the Miami defensive back that gets his hands on it, and you got a flag.
They were lucky that that one was not picked off.
They're going to back up the Buffaloes. Kevin Pectus got a habit of walking around taking his hat off. He had his hat off during the big fight. Get that thing back short again.
You know, offensive linemen, sometimes when they're pass blocking, will get their hands up in the face mask of the defensive man.
That's what they did.
And that's illegal.
So the face mask call goes against Colorado. I don't think the Buffaloes realize that they're going to be penalized here. Now they're going to back them up. They were coming out of the huddle, ready to go to it.
You better be careful when you throw it over towards Seagood. He's had an interception in 5 straight games, and leads the Hurricanes, actually leads the nation. He's tied in the nation with 3 interceptions in 2 games.
He's had his hands on it.
Yeah, he's touched a lot of them.
Yep.
And he's lined up on Johnson.
That was what, a 19-yard penalty? 19-yard penalty. Pass is thrown low. He's on his knees. He's down right there. It's T.J. Cunningham. Can't catch a ball on your knees in college ball and get up and run. It's on the 25-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down. It'll be 3rd down and 18 on the 25 of Miami. Time remaining 30 seconds. Colorado has 1 timeout remaining.
I think I'd find Johnson, get outside the pocket, just give him some time.
He's looking for him. He had him, now he lost him. Now he throws. Pass is caught. Man tumbles out of bounds, stopping the clock. 17 seconds. It's James Kidd.
This is very similar to what Colorado did at Stanford last week, except they were on the other side. They got beat at the end of the game. They need a touchdown. They need a pass into the end zone. You have 17 seconds left. They can make a first down at about the 6 or 7 yard line. But this is it.
Miami has Georgia Southern in front of them, so they'll have sort of a fix-em-up game before they have to go to Tallahassee. But here's the big play. Stewart looks, goes for Johnson. The pass is incomplete. Double coverage. Number 6 was there. That's Terrace Harris. 19. C.J. Richardson was there. And so was Carlos James. There were 3 of them on Charles Johnson.
They knew where it was going, didn't they?
Yes, sir. So at 13 seconds, the hopes of the Buffaloes finally expire.
You got to go to Johnson. You got to get deep enough, which he did. He just drove him off. The ball needs to be there now. It's too late.
Yep.
And it should have been thrown a little outside. A little bit quicker, a little bit more to the outside. He had a chance.
And so it goes over at the 17, where Miami has it. 13 seconds to play.
That wasn't
So the number 13 team came storming back against number 3, but has come up just short. Costa takes the snap, goes down on the knee. Remember, Colorado has a timeout to spend. So they will not stop it. They'll let it go. Final score, Miami 35, Colorado 29. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game for Miami. Ray Lewis, 14 tackles and 1 sack. For Colorado, Charles Johnson, 8 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. So the Miami Hurricanes go on the road and win one more time. But it wasn't easy. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Coach, congratulations, but boy, you really dodged a bullet in the last 2 minutes.
We really did. You got to credit Colorado for coming back like they did at the end. They never quit and came back and almost won the football game, but we made a great stand on defense at the end to win it, so it was a good win for us.
What about the performance of the offense? You said before the game you were going to change it. You did. How do you feel about it now?
We've played very well offensively. We've got to get them together now pretty soon, but I thought Craig Costa played outstanding. We ran the ball extremely well, so I'm real happy with it.
Keith, here's Frank Costa, and he's on his way back upstairs.
Thank you. Dennis Erickson, remarkable record at Miami as the Canes beat Colorado 35-29. Keith Jackson for Bob Greasy and Jack Arute. Now we go to John Saunders at the studio in New York.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. The Miami Hurricanes remaining undefeated, going to 3-0. Let's get you updated on the rest of the top 25 now. Alabama beats Louisiana Tech 56-3 is the final. Sherman Williams, 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. Notre Dame, it was a defensive struggle, very wet there. 17-0 is the final over Purdue. 9 turnovers in the game. Purdue had 5 of those. Nebraska beats Colorado State 48-13 is the final. Tommy Frazier, 3 touchdowns. He passed for 2. And he ran for 1. Michigan beats up on Houston for the 2nd straight year. Tyrone Wheatley, 3 rushing touchdowns in the game, 42-21. Oklahoma beats Tulsa 41-20. Cale Gundy, 3 touchdown passes in that contest as they remain undefeated. A bit of a surprise there. Tennessee comes back after their loss to Florida and blows out LSU 42-20. Heath Schuler had 3 touchdown passes. He now has 13 on the season. He had just 10 all of last year. Oregon State, a loser to Arizona, 33-0. Dan White throwing for a couple of touchdown passes. Washington shuts out East Carolina, 35-0. Napoleon Kaufman, 142 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Stanford could not hold off UCLA, 28-25, so the Bruins get their first win of the season. Sherman Shaw, 40 carries, 187 yards, 40 carries, a new UCLA record. North Carolina beats NC State 35-14. North Carolina had 28 unanswered points in the game. William Henderson had 2 rushing touchdowns. California beat San Jose State 46-13. Lindsey Chapman, 2 rushing touchdowns. BYU all over Air Force, 30-3. John Walsh threw for 3 touchdowns. Eric Drage breaking the career touchdown receptions mark with 26. Duke shut out by Virginia, 35-0. Virginia had 4 interceptions. Duke only got past midfield twice in the game. Wisconsin now undefeated, 27-15, 4-0 on the season. Lee DeRamus had 3 catches for 116 yards, their first 4-0 start since 1978. Louisville, what a great start for them. They're now 4-0 as well as they beat Texas 41-10 is the final. Anthony Shellman with 2 rushing touchdowns there. And Auburn and Southern Miss, 35-24 is the final. James Bostic had 3 rushing touchdowns in the game. Let's remind you what we have coming up for you next week. First, we'll start at noon Eastern time. Regional coverage. Check your local listings. Texas A&M against Texas Tech is one of the games. Then at 3:30 Eastern time, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Stanford. And then only on the West Coast at 4 o'clock Pacific, USC and Arizona. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again at noon Eastern time next